Experience tranquility.
Hello everybody, welcome back to a little bit more Overwatch Tranquility. This week starting off the Harmony tier play-ins for playoffs with an exciting match of Jetpack Cats versus Minty HIppos. Tonight I will be your play-by-play caster. My name is Dor. Tonight with me we have JStar on the desk. JStar, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. Going to be a very interesting match. Both teams are really good. Going to love to see how this plays out.
All right, and alongside with me casting this match will be ZivaTheDiva. How are you doing? You've been feeling a little rough these past couple days, but I hope you're ready to cast this match.
I'm doing a lot better today. Thank you for having me.
All right. Getting into this match is a very interesting match. All sorts of things going on with these teams. Not only do we have one of the most interesting DPS matchups I think I've gotten to see in all of my time casting for Tranquility. We have Poe and Sho, the sibling rivalry going up against each other one-on-one in this match, but also Jetpack Cats and Minty HIppos just so happen to have played each other last week with a very interesting outcome of 0-3. How do you think that one's going to affect the game, JStar?
You know, if I were Jetpack Cats, that would put a chip on my shoulder. That would make me want to get revenge against the Hippos. A team that has revenge on their mind will come out swinging, and in my opinion, they're going to be the hotter team tonight.
Do you think there's some sort of adaptability that Jetpack Cats really need to feel like they have? Do you think that they'll be able to adapt in such a short notice as well?
Oh, definitely. I'm assuming they've been scrimming and whatnot, and those are perfect times to work on the mistakes that they made against Hippos in the first place. So I would not be surprised if they have already figured out those mistakes and what they need to do to not make the same ones tonight.
All right, and coming in, if you want to go ahead and break down this map pool for us, we've got a pretty interesting way of how these maps are going to be going. Minty HIppos will have the first pick being the first seed, but if you could go ahead and break down what their options are and what they might want to do here, that'd be really great for us.
So the control points for tonight are going to be Lijiang Tower, Nepal, and Ilios. If I am the Minty HIppos, my first pick would either be Lijiang Tower or Nepal, because they both play into what the Minty HIppos do so well. The pharmacy that they run is so good and so effective that both those maps are so pharmacy oriented that those would be one of my two picks that they should run first off the bat.
All right, and the first map will be Control. Who do you think that this gives an advantage to?
I think this gives an advantage to the Minty HIppos, in my opinion, just because of how they like to play. They like to play a lot of pharmacy. Once again, Lijiang Tower being such a strong pharmacy map. Night Market, very prominent there. Garden being also very prominent. And once again, I think this just plays into the strength of the Hippos.
All right, and as we see in this lobby, Minty HIppos will be taking the game to Ilios first. So maybe I want to play a couple interesting strats here. Of course, lots of room for good Lucio play and good Roadhog play. So I hope we see a bit of interesting stuff here, as I think the lobby is just about all set up as we check if the teams are ready here.
If I don't see at least 5 boobs per map, I'll be very disappointed. So I have high expectations here.
As well as Sanctum and Wellbeing, two very notable maps that are out of the map pool for competitive that I think a lot of these Lucio mains are just itching to play on And the teams are ready here, hopping into Ilios, your first map of Harmony Tier playoffs. Let's jump right into it. The first map will be Well.
Oh, well, I think we're going to start well. I think we're going to start off really well when it comes to these boops. This is the map to do it on. So that might actually play a little bit into what comps they choose and in how they play the game. You have to play around that well. You have to make sure that you don't catch yourself in the way of a hog hook or of a Lucio boop. So that's always something to think about.
Mm-hmm. And from the information that I've gathered, one of these brothers, not Poe or Show, I can't quite remember which one right now. Each of them plays, one of them plays hit scan and one of them plays the projectile. So we might just get to see an interesting little Pharah versus hit scan matchup coming into this map, with the Pharah being so strong here. But it looks as the teams are locking in. We do have Reaper May versus Reaper Doomfist. So no boops to be had on the DPS lineup. However, both teams, or no, one team locking in the Orisa Hog and one team locking in Orisa Sigma. How do you think that's going to affect this match?
I think it'll be interesting. It's a little disheartening to not see a pharmacy. I was kind of looking forward to it. I think this is kind of right now the typical map pool that, or hero pool that you see in comp and everything. So it'll just be interesting to see which team manages to get point control first and which team manages to hold on to it.
Yeah, I think this May pick might actually be the most interesting pick here in the lobby. The May is going to be able to effectively cut off a lot of these angles not commonly seen on this map. However, it could just be the thing they need against the Reaper Doomfist. It will be Show telling right off. Will be, I believe, Jetpack Cat's setting up first on this point. Minty HIppos, though, in the corner. Star Kids can be forced off, though, by Jetpack Cats. As Dark Link knocked into the pool. Is a pull finds 3 from Quick. A massive haul.
What a pull.
Minty HIppos taking the first fight.
What a pull by Quick. I mean, that's not really easy to land, but they backed off, waited for the other team to get around the well, and that pull was brilliant. Not easy to pull off, really. I mean, such a point saver. They just took out half the team right there. That's it. There's no way to come back from that. So what a great pull from Quick.
How do Jetpack Cats look to take back this point? They actually swap. Or no, they don't make any swap here coming out of the point. Pardon me. Mixing up these teams just a little bit. But it's so hard to break Orisa's on this point. How do you think they need to approach that?
I think they need to go through the tower and
but a massive pick on him.
Oh, another pull. I'm telling you, these environmental kills are going to be a huge part of this game. And they're doing just that. They're going through the tower, so we'll see how this goes.
Almost coming in from Darklink. He's searching for it. However, this close-up fight favors the Reaper Doomfist so heavily. Quick laying in so much damage on this Orisa. The Bongo enabling his team to deal that much more as the fight does go in the way of Minty HIppos. Not looking great for the starting off Jetpack Cats.
Yeah, Cinnamon there tried to use Coalescence to kind of keep the fight going, keep the team alive, but with Bongos, it just wasn't possible. There was too much damage coming in there, and it didn't allow the team to be as aggressive as they might have wanted to be with that Coalescence.
We do see Notpo coming in with a Blizzard that could change the tide of this fight, and Reaper ults from both sides. The question is, who will find the positioning to get those off first? This time, Jetpack Cats looking to set themselves up a little bit differently. The Maywall used to cut off the angle, but the window is going to be starting to shred through these shields. However, the Orisa Hog deals a lot of damage with this mill, but getting them back and reset. Show his Meteor Strike forced out. Jetpack Cats looking to reassert themselves as the Meteor Strike drops down the wall as well. Committed. Show the Blizzard drop, and it will be finding nobody. I believe it's Eaton. It's not shown in the kill feed, however. As Jetpack Cats looking to re-engage here. Not many kills found in the kill feed. P-Shroom, they'll find the hook on Inoshimo, and that might just be what they need to close out this point. Jetpack Cats looking to just touch.
In that fight,
3 ults in the bag.
In that fight, Show really showed what they could do with that, both that ult on the Moira and also canceling that May ult, which I think is what happened there.
Darkling gets in. Udo re-engaging. That's awesome. Each of them finding 2 kills. Who can close it out first? Plus, though, not going to be enough.
I don't think they'll be able to touch. That is unfortunate. I think at that point there was just ultimate economy that was in the favor of Jetpack Cats. Because they were doing so much better in the fights. But I think Show just really showed a very strong showing there of their skills. So it was very impressive from both sides, but especially from Minty HIppos here.
Yes, sir. 100-0 Minty HIppos. We go on to yet another boot map here on the Lighthouse. The comps look like they might be staying the same. No, it will be Orisa Hogs for both teams, and the Baptiste locked in for Jetpack Cats this time. as the Reaper Doomfist for both teams as well. Gonna be a little bit of a change up from the Mei, and I think that's a good spot for Jetpack Cats. Although they will now need to outplay them in the mirror matchup. It's all the more interesting as we see Notpo and Show both on the Doomfist. That sibling rivalry going to be coming in huge here.
That'll be interesting. It'll really be on those two to really impress each other without focusing each other too much.
Both teams lining up in May, but the Halt Hook lands on the Peachroom. Show just peeling for his tank smartly. Notpo will be the next person to be found though, as the Doomfist is taken out. It's going to be 65 for Jetpack Cats here. This is the opening they were looking for last map. The Halt Hook lands on the Show. Doomfist down. Ooh, in the back line of Minty Hippos. Klaus just looking to get out both. Reapers reset here, but it will be Minty Hippos engaging on the point and taking that position.
Klaus did very well to get into their backline there, get the pick that he needed, and got out just safely the way that Reaper's supposed to be played.
Peachroom taking out the DPS of Minty Hippos, having asserted themselves on the point, have such a good positioning advantage. The Reaper and the Doomfist able to shred so effectively on the Jetpack Cats. Jetpack Cats forced to back off here and take the next fight.
Interesting. Klaus is really popping off here. And they're just letting him go in there. They're not really doing much to stop him. At this point, it's just closing out those last couple of picks, but they're staggering, and they need to get back together and push in as a whole group, focus down that Reaper, and that's how they're going to win.
Yeah, the peel from Jetpack Cats I don't think has been up to par necessarily, but everything's going to come in as we see the flanks start to roll in, or if the teams just want to go head-to-head here. Show engages on the high ground. Forced out for Wraithform, forced out for the Bongo and Fortify committed. No shield though. The Reaper, the Blossom drops in, not going to be finding anything. He gets knocked right out of his ultimate. Reaper's in both back lines, but the kills head in the way of Minty Hippos, up 3-1 here. They're looking for something, but they just close out the fight. Peachroom finding a massive hook on a knot. Is going to be enough to end this one nice and early, 60% in the favor of Minty Hippos.
Yeah, the DPS on the side of Jetpack Cats just can't seem to be getting the value they're hoping to get out of there. And on top of it, their tanks are being so pressured down by Klaus that they just can't seem to be finding harmony within each other. So it's a little tough for them. I think they need to work together a little bit more. At some point was like on top of the point, which he's supposed to be far away from his team, but maybe not that far away.
We're really failing to see Jetpack Cats here play together as a solid unit. Oftentimes they're getting split up in the mid-fight here, but not this time as they start to engage on the point as a team. The Death Blossom comes out from finding two, and that's a clean victory for Jetpack Cats. Moving as a unit onto the point. Notpo barely not getting knocked off the map by Peachroom. But Peachroom picking up the kill with the whole hog.
Well. No, sorry. Well, we are again finding ourselves in the same position as the last map, where there's just the same ult economy as before with just kidding. Jetpack Cats actually got the point. I'm sorry, I was not focused there. Good on Jetpack Cats getting the point.
The Hippos asserting themselves here in main, but the massive pull on the Halt Hook coming in. Both teams have been so consistent hitting this Halt Hook. But not both looking to get out here as both teams set up in main. The window committed from both sides.
Ooh, both sides.
First to go down the hall. Hook lands on the Peachroom, but he trades back on the no teams going down yet. The Bongo committed from Minty Hippos. Will be taking out the invulnerability field. Notpo though. Noshimo ending up off the map somehow. Maxi though trading onto Notpo. The Doomfist down for the side of Jetpack Cats. In the main tank taking out Michelin Man, Cinnamon, Darklink all going down the kills, rolling in for Minty. Hippo, this show just wants to hold on this point for dear life. 93%. The point ticks down for Minty Hippos.
Great use of bongos there by looks like we have somebody DC'd maybe?
They're saying
crashed.
That's
unfortunate.
For your Jetpack Cats. And if you just give me a moment here.
Of course. Cameron is
figuring this out.
Doing the lobbies, so he's doing his job. But I think there we just saw a great use of the bongos by Quick. Really placed it right at the end of both of the Baptiste ults, which just added that extra damage for them to really push in aggressively. So it worked out in their favor here. Of course, having someone crash definitely makes it a little harder to hold on to the point. But I think we saw a little bit of that harmony that I was looking for from the Jetpack Cats at that point. But once they got the point, but we saw a lack of the focus on Lamp on both sides. I saw that throughout both of the use of the Baptiste ult. There was no focus on the lamp, so neither one of the teams got taken down. And at that point, Jetpack Cats didn't have the bongos when quick on the sides of the Minty Hippos did. So I think that's what really pushed them to get the point back at that 90% now. So I think that's really what pushed them over the edge for that fight, at least. As far as what's really setting them apart, because we can see there's quite a bit of dominance on the side of the Minty Hippos right now versus the side of the Jetpacks. Not to say that the Jetpack Cats are not doing well. There just seems to be a lack of coordination. But it looks like we're back in the game.
Jetpack Cats will be engaged on the point. Notpo committing the meteor strike, and overtime ticking down. The beat is dropped for Jetpack Cats. Notpo, though, will be going down immediately after that meteor strike lands. All 5 members, though, left for Jetpack Cats on this point, desperately trying to find the kill. The question is, will they be able to lock him in the invulnerability? Still Nazi Clouds coming up huge with 3 kills on Death Walking up. Boo trading right back with 2 more in his own name. Quick, though, Tasmus and Bishroom, the last men left alive on the point, will have the last say in the fight. No, though, Notpo getting one last touch. Bishroom, though. Whole Hog picking up the last 2 kills. The map closed out. Ilios going in the favor of Minty Hippos, up 1-0.
Well, fantastic job there by Bishroom to keep both the Doomfist and I think one other person off the point. Now we get to see this amazing halt by Quick into the well. I want to see how this was done.
Well done. The boot comes in and they follow up with the haul.
The way that they backed off to be able to give that space, it was as if they were giving that space, but I think it was just to place them next to the well. I don't know if it was intentional. It did look like it, but this is very well done by both teams, I think. Hoping to see the Jetpack Cats show a little bit more teamwork in the next few games that we'll hopefully see.
Now going into this next map, Jetpack Cats will have the map pick advantage, having just lost that one. JStar, how do you think that's going to affect this next one?
So, I think that Jetpack Cats are going to try to pick something that will play more into the style of play that they're doing. They're playing a little more stagnant right now. They're not playing up to the speed that Minty Hippos is playing. They're playing a little slower. So, as we go to the Salt map, I think that they are going to either try to take Hanamura or Temple of Anubis, in my opinion.
Hanamura or Temple of Anubis. An interesting pick, though, coming in. Why do you think that really gives them an advantage here?
Because based on that first map, they weren't really playing quick. On the second point, they traded their Lucio for a Baptiste. That completely got rid of any speed advantage that they might have. So, with that being said, if they want to play this more slow-paced, poke battle type game, those maps are more effective for that because you have a few different options of DPS you can run. You can run Bastion, you can run Symmetra on both maps. Both are very viable. And with that being said, both those DPS are more stagnant and like to play the poke game.
Yeah, Jetpack Cats, although they will be choosing Hanamura here, looking to make a coordinated attack onto these 2 points. All right, we have the lobby fixed up. Both teams getting ready to go load into Hanamura. Is there any last words, any last bits of advice you think Jetpack Cats need here going into this next map to maybe clean up their play a little bit and catch up to the speed that Minty Hippos have been playing at?
Play faster, play more together. Simple as that, and I think they can do it.
All right, both teams readying up here. It looks like as we load in, we'll start to see these team comps. What are you most excited to see here, Ziva?
Well, what map are we on? We're on Hanamura. I think on defense, the typical May Reaper, May Doomfist, with the Orisa Hog or Orisa Sigma is really strong because you can wall off the enemy team as they try to push in. I think we'll see that on defense. I wouldn't be surprised. Sometimes you see Bastion on defense, but I doubt we'll see that today. On terms of attack, we could see a few things. What I wouldn't mind seeing is Ryan Zarya. I'm getting a little tired of Orisa Sigma, but I think everyone else is as well. Ryan Zarya with the Lucio would be cool to see, but most likely we will continue to see that Orisa Sigma / Orisa Hog.
Yeah, we did see Notpo on the May, though, for Jetpack Cats on that last map. He didn't quite get that much effect out of it on... Oh, and Noshimo dropping out yet again. Unfortunate. Jetpack Cats maybe having a little bit of connectivity issues.
It'd be like that. I really do. I think what I want to see from Jetpack Cats, I want to see find a way to get into the enemy team. I saw that they were poking a lot from afar, which is just not Reaper's strength. And he or they seem to have a little bit of trouble getting in there, which is the strength of Reaper, is getting in and getting out. But also, Minty HIppos was doing a great job at focusing him down when he came in. So I think what I want to see from U specifically is find a way to get to that tanker, to get to that healer that may be a little bit spread from the team, and try to get that key pick at the beginning or mid fight. In terms of in terms of just tank play, a little bit more aggressive, but together still. I think anytime they tried to be aggressive, they were a little discorded and a little split. So you would have one tank going in one way and the DPS going in the other. It just wasn't working the way that it should.
All right, and apparently everybody is dropping out of this match. We have 3 disconnects. Both the coaches dropping out and
Oh
no
god.
Interestingly enough, no Shmo back in the game. Juke, the coach for Minty HIppos, and we're just waiting on one more person before we can get. I apologize for the delay. I wish we could do something about it. But
It's a
I guess
strat.
what we can do is really theorize about what we're going to be seeing here.
It's their strategy, you know? It'll throw the enemy team off if they all just leave, right?
I suppose that might just be it. I think both teams
Are back, question mark? Yeah, it looks like it.
Okay, yes, we have everybody set up. Okay.
Put me in, coach. Well, they can't see that. The chat is all put me in, coach. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Some teams are not as strong on King of the Hill as they are on other maps. So I'm hoping to see a little bit more of a dominant Jetpack, more aggressive, but aggressive in a smart way. Aggressive in a way that they are playing together and coordinated with their DPS. It kind of seemed like their DPS sometimes was just kind of running off and doing their own thing. So it'd be really nice to see them play a little bit more with the team.
Yeah, I think as this match goes on, we'll see a little bit less of that aggression from the two brothers, maybe trying to find a couple picks onto one another. But if they can tone that one down and maybe start to just play a little bit more together so that they're not really throwing for their team, I suppose.
Go as far as saying throwing, but definitely didn't help the team to go on these little flanks that ended up not working out. And you did notice in one of those fights on them, and I believe it wasn't it was the other one, which I forgot the name. You saw that both of the Doomfists were the first to get picked off in their endeavors. So, you know, that's something you don't want to be doing as a DPS, is getting picked off first.
All right, and yet again, we will see Notpo and Show on a hero mirror match. This time it's going to be McCree as his siblings just start to go at it here. And your wish is granted your right.
I know, right?
By both teams. Aggression coming in quick, and Michelin Man swinging on one of the Dark Link, though. A massive purple from the side of Minty HIppos will be taking out so many members of Jetpack Cats, just swinging. Both these Reinhardts going absolutely nuts. Quick, though, having the final say, picking up 4 of those kills. Minty HIppos.
Wow.
Denying them the point.
So the engage was correct there on Jetpack Cats. They did engage correctly. They used the speed boost to get into the team, but then there was just the slightest bit of back off from the Michelin Man when he should have continued to press W, and that opened up his team for the huge anti by Maxi. So I think they need to do that. Just do it together as a team.
The door here, quick, Michelin Man swinging again. Michelin Man, though, going in way deep. Will be taken up by Klaus, and Minty HIppos can be taking full advantage of the fact that Jetpack Cats do not have a main tank with them anymore. Yet again.
Every healer's worst nightmare is a Ryan that just goes charging in, and that's exactly what Michelin Man just did. You want to be aggressive, but you want to press W with your team. You don't want to press shift. And they immediately lost their main tank, and that's the end of the fight when you're playing this kind of comp with Ryan Zarya, where you want to be all in Lucio's little circle doing damage. So let's see if they learn from their mistakes.
All right, looks like they want to move left here just a little bit. They can't decide where they want to go. Jetpack Cat stuck in the middle of no man's. And then swinging, though, Darkling finds P-Shroom. That's the off-tank down. Show, though, finding his brother, not Poe. Will be dead. Michelin Man charging in this time, a little bit more support, but the purple nade does land on him. Quick will be taking the first nano. Michelin Man at half health. This Reinhardt's so dangerous. Quick could find so many kills here, though. Ooh, picking up Show. No more McCree. Michelin Man trading, though.
Nice.
Both charges used, dropped on the edge of point, and it will be Jetpack Cats taking that point much more decisively than we saw them take it on Helios.
So I was a little worried there when Michelin Man just first came in, and it didn't look like he knew where he was going. He was standing there taking damage to his shield. I was there panicking for him because we knew that Michelin Man was getting closer to that shatter. But they did a very good job at staying calm, making their way to the point, and taking point control, which is the most important thing about these kinds of maps.
Alright, we see Jetpack lining up, pushing the point directly through main, as it will be Minty HIppos forced to push onto a Michelin Man, eats a pin. Alice Homer will be committing the coalescence of a massive shatter. Finds at least 2 people quick though, needs to block this from Notpo. Notpo has a massive positioning. DPS all around the point, but no tanks alive. They will get grinded out. Jetpack Cat's dying here. Noshima will be the last man left alive, and he is gone.
Maxi keeps getting these gigantic antis. They're like so nice to see. But there, I don't agree with, I think it was Michelin Man's use of Shatter. I mean, he had already lost, I think, 1 person at least, and he was low HP and just pressed that Q and ended up dying because of it, and that left his team really vulnerable. So you have to be really smart with how you use that Shatter.
Now this will be the #1 opening that Jetpack Cats will have. They have the Grab Dragon on deck. No support ultimates for Minty HIppos, but a pick from Quick with his Fire Strike. Will it be enough? The Fire Strike comes in the invulnerability field, keeping his entire team alive just long enough. It's incredibly clutch, but everyone's so low. Michelin Man swinging in. This Reinhardt unstoppable, pushing up through that high ground as the kills start to roll in favor of Jetpack Cats, but can they find enough of them in time? Klaus dropping in, finds 1 with the Death Blossom, 2 on the Noshima. That might just be enough here to let Minty HIppos pick up the point. The invulnerability field drops Dallas Homer in quick inside of it, the ball to recontest. Here, show the DPS will be looking to find a few picks to coalescence, so it drops onto the low ground. That's massive. No heals for Michelin Man until he gets back up onto the ground. Michelin Man just trying to find a little bit of space. Dark Link though on point. Noshima back on top of the ball. The kill feed all blue in favor of Minty HIppos, looking to not give up a single tick here, committing the Graviton. Maybe a little bit of a mistake here though. Ooh, the last man picked off, and Noshima gonna be just getting right out on the ball.
I was a little worried when I saw Klaus come in with that Reaper roll. I really didn't think it was gonna work because the only 2 that were on point really were Zarya and Ryan, which are 2 that can usually find a way to survive at least part of the Reaper roll, either with shield or with bubble. But it actually turned out really well for them. Now the ult from Shroom I think might have been a misclick, or I don't know, at least wasn't the greatest value for the level of work that comes into getting that ult. But we'll see what. We have both Zaryas without grab, so we'll see what they'll do in this fight.
Alright, loading up the Jetpack Cats, deciding to take a different route. Michelin Man commits the Shatter. Doesn't find anything though. Notpo and Ooh both finding kills onto the DPS. Nothing left here for damage on the side of Minty HIppos. This is their chance to close it out. Jetpack Cats starting to frag out Dallas Homer, the last man left the life of Minty HIppos. They have control of the point. Jetpack Cats P-Shrimp just trying to keep it alive a little bit longer, but Minty HIppos are starting to come up, and they come up in the kill feed. Klaus finding Cinnamon. No more main heals for Jetpack Cats. Quick though on the ball. It's a lot of health for Minty HIppos on this point. Still not a single tick given up. Minty HIppos playing this so well. The window committed. Will the heals come in? Shoto does have his Dragon Blade swinging on, but the beat is dropped. Jetpack Cats still alive on this point, but again, not a single tick. The kills start rolling in their favor though. This might be their chance to close it out. Quick on the ball. The High Noon committed from Notpo, and it looks like it's going to be ticking over in favor of Jetpack Cats. I might have something to say about this. The deflect finding something, but it's not going to be enough. Jetpack Cats take it. 1 minute and 10 seconds left.
Minty HIppos did a great job there at stalling the point. It's a thing that's very possible in Hanamura to just keep throwing bodies at it, which is exactly what they did. And Shroom did a really good job at using their bubbles to keep whoever was going in alive, like that Genji when he went in and ulted. So it was a great stall on their part. With Hanamura, it's just hard to keep the defending team from stalling. So you just have to focus the people that are coming in, and I think at one point they understood that and they started to go for the ones that kept coming in. Overall, I think I'm really happy with what I saw from Jetpack Cats. I'm seeing a little bit of an improvement.
Yep, Jetpack Cats definitely going to be happy picking up both points there. Minty HIppos putting up a great defense, really rotating one person in and out of the point effectively. They're allowing their teammates to get back, find those kills to deny it just a little bit longer. Of course, though, 3 seconds until we get to see these team comps. I can't wait to see what Minty HIppos throw back at them and show on a Symmetra. Going to be looking to have some fun little TP strats here.
Well, I'm sad to see the Ryan Zarya go. It was lovely to see that counterplay. I think if we were to look at the two Ryans, Michelin Man did a great job, but I'd have to say that crap, who played it on the other team? Quick? Question mark? Quick. I'm sorry, I'm learning all the games. I think Quick did a really great job at denying all the shatters on the side for Michelin Man. So it was great, but we'll have to see how the Orisa Sigma plays against this Orisa Ryan now. Orisa Hog.
I like this pick coming out from Jetpack at the Notpo onto the McCree. He was really fragging out. He was actually huge for them on that last fight, playing effectively with this team and targeting down exactly what his team was. And I think we dropped another spectator again, but it will be Minty starting to push this point. First, looking to plant this TP on, as Jetpack has to start to back up, but the TP is on the high ground. They've given them the better position, and nobody going through that TP, waiting out the hook. There's a bit of a bait. They take the better position here. This is so smart from Minty Hippos. They use the TP to force them to back up, and now they have the better position here. Walking into main, they get to push this however they want. This Metro from Show, picking up so much charge in that sleep onto the Roadhog, gonna be denying him any sort of value. This Show, absolutely huge, rolling in with the damage, and a pause having to come in. I think another DC from Nostromo that may or may not have been why he just inted right into Minty Hippos there.
Yeah, I was wondering what that was about. That makes a lot of sense now. I was a little concerned there, but it makes sense. It's hard to, analyze a game where the person is DCing a lot, but I think Minty Hippos really pushed into that point intelligently, using that hippo, using the TP as a way to get more space, and then also Shroom. It wasn't Quick. It was Shroom using that shield to continue to gain space, which is what you need to do with Orisa. That shield is on a cooldown, and you really need to think about where you place it. And the way that Shroom is placing their shields is perfect, because it's eating into the enemy Orisa's shield, which makes their shield completely useless. So very good job from both tanks there. Healers are doing a fantastic job at keeping Shroom and Quick alive. And Klaus, once again, Klaus is really showing some great Reaper strats and techniques here by just pushing in, pressuring the tanks, which is the greatest thing that you can do as a Reaper, is pressure the tanks. As a tank player myself, I know it sucks when there's a good Reaper on the enemy team. You feel like you can't do anything, so that's exactly what he's doing to the enemy team. Overall, I think just great play from Minty Hippos. Really well thought out, well coordinated, and that's where I think they're just stronger than Jetpack Cats, is their coordination.
And going into the push, a man down. Minty Hippos have the full advantage here with no Roadhog in sight and a fully charged Symmetra. We are just waiting on Nostromo for this. We apologize yet again. He's been disconnecting a little bit all night, and that, who knows, that may have been going on last week, which would be just as unfortunate and maybe be the reason why Minty Hippos picked up a clean 3-0 on him. However, I'd love to see a little bit more of a challenge, and Jetpack Cat's showing they can adapt at least a little bit here.
I think we need to start a Kickstarter to get Shomo a new PC
Or
as soon as
internet.
possible. Or new internet, or better internet.
Real quick, while we have the opportunity, JStar, is there anything you want to add maybe about that last push that we got to see from Jetpack Cats pushing on to point A and point B consecutively there that may have changed the tide of the game?
Man, what can I say? Jetpack Cats came out. I like that they're adapting to what the Hippos are trying to throw at them. But there were some misplays on the side of Jetpack Cats, though. There were some miss-ults. There were some playing a little bit too aggressive almost borderline feeding. Michelin Man, excellent Reinhardt player and all that, but he needs to tone it down a little bit, play a little more with his team. Hippos are doing an excellent job of controlling the pace, and they are doing an excellent job at shutting down whatever Jetpack Cats trying to throw at them. And with that being said, I am very interested to see that Quick did switch off the Reinhardt, because that Reinhardt that Quick was playing was so effective. Denied Michelin Man shatters almost every time. I think Michelin Man got one off, and that was because Quick was dead. But other than that, though, Quick's been playing a really solid Reinhardt tonight.
And in Reinhardt, it will not be much longer, sadly, to say we get to see the big German man on the bench. This Orisa Sigma is unfortunately far too strong. But we've seen Jetpack Cats not run the Sigma and insist on not running the Sigma for these past couple maps. Why do you think that is?
I am so sorry. I was reading something. Can you repeat that?
We haven't seen. We're sad to see the Reinhardt go, but in the Arista Sigma matchup, we actually haven't seen Jetpack Cats lock in the Sigma yet. Why do you think that is?
I think that's just because of how Nostromo wants to play. Nostromo probably wants to play more of a fraggy off-tank style, so Roadhog is the perfect pick for that. And paired with the Orisa, the Halt Hook combo can be so deadly, especially now that Sigma is practically useless against Roadhog Hook now.
Yeah, a lot of these seem to be comfort picks as well. Notpo playing a very good McCree on this attack, and I think one of the biggest benefactors to this entire game, as well as the DPS lineups, has been Klaus. Klaus has managed to find value with every single one of his Reaper ultimates. I don't think I've seen him get less than 2 with the Death Blossom, and he's been a real game changer for Minty Hippos, picking up some fights that maybe they shouldn't have, and certainly gaining them a lot of time on these points.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Klaus is definitely putting in work on that Reaper. He's getting in, getting out, getting the value he needs, getting everybody low for his team to push up. Pressuring the tanks is exactly what Ziva said, is a tank's worst nightmare, because you can't do anything against a good Reaper. And that's exactly what Klaus is doing. Klaus is playing the Reaper to perfection right now, and I don't expect him to be doing anything but that.
Right, and we're having a little bit more trouble with Nostromo having trouble signing into his account, apparently. This is unfortunate. These Mercy skins seem to be glitching the game and breaking it. That Doc Mercy patch, of course, coming in. I don't think either of these teams are going to be playing it, though, at least on this map. All sorts of things going wrong, though. We apologize yet again.
NA scrims.
NA scrims. That's exactly what it is. NA scrims on home row. Why do you think, actually, we haven't seen Darklink play Lucio past well? Why do you think he's been locking in this Baptiste coming in?
I think Baptiste is so viable now with the damage buff he just got, but it hurts me to not see a Lucio, because Lucio provides so much value for a team. He gets you places faster. His healing with all things considered, is not that bad, and the speed boost is just so good right now, and it's something that every team should be running. And with the Sound Barrier ultimate, the defensive ult that every team needs is not there. Yes, Immortality Field can be kind of used in the place of that, but it's just not enough in some cases.
Yeah, it's not quite the replacement for a support ult that you might want. And Darklink, although Nostromo may have DC'd and that's why he's running forward, it's situations like that a Lucio can really save you. Help your Roadhog get back behind your shield, help your team rotate a lot more effectively, especially when you're playing against a Symmetra, and the last thing you want to be doing is getting stuck in that beam. However, oh my goodness, we have a PC reset from Nostromo after all versus 6, but the point will be coming in as we have a very exciting fight lined up instantly as we get ready to unpause right now. Let me just check if both the teams are ready. Apparently Shroma tried to reconnect and instantly got kicked right back out. And we are ready to go. This point dropping in 3, 2, 1. Right back into the action. We have Show with a fully charged beam, putting in so much damage on a Michelin Man here. However, we'll be telling the rest of the Hippos here to back right off. Napo picking off Classic. A lot of damage gone. They could hold this. They can do this. 5 versus 6. It will be Jetpack holding on for their lives here. On the back line, though, will be picked off for the Hippos. Pushing this point just a little bit more. It's looking less and less likely. Jetpack Cats desperately holding on with everything they've got, but a massive purple land and picking up everybody with a fully charged beam. Michelin Man, the last to go down for Jetpack Cats. A rough start. How do they hold this on to second point going in? Only 5 defenders.
Listen, first of all, Jetpack Cats, props to you. You did a great job at holding there. Notpo got a great pick at the beginning, but it just... when Show is so charged up as Symmetra, it's hard to hold. So that's something they have to avoid in the next map, is letting Show get that charged up. Because at that point, they're doing so much damage. So just catching that person out.
Vision Napo set up on the high ground, forcing the Ano to 1v1, but the Gravitic Flux comes in, picks up 2, doesn't find anybody. But the kills will follow up, quick finding onto Darklink, and Show trading onto that Nano onto Quick, dealing so much damage, and you know this Symmetra is absolutely melting people. Microwave left and right, and the point looks like it's going to get taken here, unless Ooh has something to say about it on this Doomfist. Immediately going down. Napo can hold just a little bit longer. Let's see if they can get the stagger. That Minty Hippo's got him. Michelin going down next. Darkling coming in. The focus so good for Minty Hippo, so consistent. And that's it. 4 minutes and 55 seconds on the clock. 5v6 completed for Minty Hippos.
Other than the fact that they're 5v6, Minty Hippos just had the ult economy there over Jetpack Cats. They had Gravitic Flux, they had Symmetra, they had Bongos over Jetpack Cats, which really only had, the Kree ult. So there wasn't much to do there. Quick came in aggressively with that Gravitic Flux and did what was necessary. So it's unfortunate they're 5v6. It's a little hard to analyze that. You are just constantly down one person, but Minty Hippos is still putting out a very dominant display here.
Now, these days we hear a lot about map control and ultimate economy, but one of the few things that we hear about, maybe just because it's so high IQ, we don't talk about the player economy. Now, in case you didn't know, 6 may or may not be more than 5.
I mean, I don't know how to count.
There's going to be a lot of weight on the backs of Jetpack Cats to take this first point here. Michelin Man locking the Reinhardt, and all of a sudden we're not running 2-2-2, we're running 1-2-2. So they will be locking in a solo Reinhardt, 2 damage dealers on Ooh with Pharah, and a Mercy paired with Notpo on a Symmetra. So they're going to be looking for massive damage here. They want to shred through this team as quick as they can.
Oh?
The question is, will they be able to do it into the reverse Symmetra from Show? How do you think they push this?
Well, it's interesting because now they switched to D.Va, which is an interesting choice because you're getting rid of your main tank, but D.Va can do a lot of damage. So I'm interested. They're looking to pick. They're picking some very high mobility heroes. So,
you see in the backline, Show completely out of position on the flank. Symmetra not able to go anywhere. Cloud's getting picked off as well. All of a sudden, 5v6 turns into 4v5 in favor of Jetpack Cats as they're forced back onto the point. Quick just trying to keep people off of it, but this seemingly deathmatch style that Jetpack Cats are trying to run here, trading 1 for 1 is exactly what they want here. Ooh, finding a lot of damage on him, actually forced off the point though. Quick and actually stuck in the corner. Show will be coming back on the trace, but the kills all in favor of Jetpack Cats. A 5v6 pulled off both DPS for Minty Hippos, going down way earlier than they might have wanted to.
Listen, sometimes it's all about picking the heroes that you're comfortable with, and based on what I just saw, it seems Ooh is more comfortable on Pharah than anything they've played until now. So sometimes that just works, especially in these situations. Right now, they need to continue this aggression and this playing together. That's the only way they're going to continue winning fights.
Pharah's a lot easier when the McCree and Symmetra are out of the game immediately, both playing very aggressive angles and getting punished for it. All of a sudden, this second point is going to be exponentially harder than the first point to take, but Jetpack Cats are going to go for it, setting themselves up on the point. The double shields are going to be locking them out of a lot of damage here, but the Coalescence committed. We'll be looking for Dallas home here with it. Does he get the pick? No, but the barrage comes in, finding one onto Klaus. But the kills all in favor of Jetpack Cats. The Nano onto Quick. Will he be able to do anything about it? He's looking to charge up as much of this Gravitic Flux as he can. 77%. This may be the game changing if he can get it off. But no, more kills in the way of Jetpack Cats. They're looking to take 2 points. 3 men on the point. Klaus, I believe, on the Ash. Will they find a dynamite as they surround the point? They engage onto it. 3 members touch the point, and 3 members starting to go down. Dallas Homer, the left man left alive.
Wow.
And they find it with 0 seconds left. Jetpack Cats take point B of Hanamura.
That was fantastic from Jetpack Cats. It's really interesting what going down a player can do for a team because they played more together with one person down than they ever did before that point. They really pushed in. They were aggressive, but not in a way where they were splitting apart. They pushed in together, and I think they just need to keep that up, and they have a chance of possibly taking this map. I really hope so. This is some great Overwatch we're seeing right now. Great teamwork from them.
Yeah, I think that second point was a lot more coordinated than we've seen them run before. In the first point, honestly, they ran a comp with the D.Va, Reaper, Pharah, Mercy, as well as I believe Amora. That was very self-sustaining in their heroes, and so they were able to not really have to worry about taking that 5v6 brawl, that death ball composition as we sometimes call it, and not have to take just a straight up 5v6 and really take their own fights across the map. The Moira really skirting around, trying to help out the D.Va and Reaper as much as she can, but the D.Va and Reaper really able to keep themselves alive for a decent amount of it. No smoke, but immediately kicked out. That's unfortunate. F's in the chat all over the place. This man's not having a good day. His costume crashing. His internet's down, and it looks like Jeff just didn't want him to play.
No, Jeff said you need to learn how to play as 5 before you can play as 6. And honestly, they're doing great. So if it works, it works. I think we really can't erase the impact that Ooh had on Farah and Cinnamon as well. Cinnamon did such a great job of keeping Ooh up and keeping them doing so much damage. And then in terms of, as you said it, Dark Link really managed to keep Michelin Man and not Poe up. It was a great choice of comp picking high with heroes with high survivability and high movement ability to keep it just more possible. It was a great hero choice.
Now, this will be the real test of strength. 4 minutes and 55 seconds left on the clock for Minty Hippos going to this push. More than they had before, and hopefully for them, more than they'll need. But Jetpack Cats might have something to say about it in this 5v6. Michelin Man this time on the Orisa instead of the Diva. The lone tank looking to stay alive against all this pressure. Quick back on his Reinhardt. Napo taking out Klaus. Will even it up 5 versus 5 going into this fight. Looking to just reset here back around the corner. Ooh, raining in that damage on the far. Although it may just be a little bit less effective. Klaus on that Widowmaker going to be looking to pick him off bright and early. Cinnamon and Ooh have to play so carefully. A single pick going the way of Minty Hippos could change the tide of this game entirely. They're playing safely around this choke. Quick looking to engage, and engage he will! Right onto the Fortify of Michelin. And he charges in. Pichu finding so much damage, but Ooh finding the first pick on the show. Will we make the difference maker here? Klaus looking to find something on this Widowmaker, but not able to trade. He's on top of him. Ooh, finding both the DPS. Minty Hippos pushing on the point. Minty Hippos, though, have both their tanks alive along with the Moira. They can't do this. They have so much pressure. Cinnamon trying for the res, but not going to be finding anything. Ooh, left alive on the point. And it looks like they need to just contest this with all they have. 3 members of Minty Hippos on the point. Make it 4 as the point ticks down. 3 minutes and 37 seconds left on the clock. They have to hold this second point. Jetpack Cats, the pressure is on. 5 versus 6. They did it on attack. Can they do it again on defense? What are they doing here?
Ooh did an amazing job at pressuring both the DPS on the enemy team. Unfortunately, Michelin Man and Dark Link just couldn't get down quick enough. So they need to make sure they focus down the Reinhardt when he just goes in like that. It's about focusing the right heroes, because Ooh was doing their job getting the DPS down. It was about getting those tanks down. So that's what they need to do this next fight.
And the biggest difference you'll see with the 5v6 is just the sheer amount of sustain that Minty Hippos seems to have here, that they can push wherever they want. The tanks are forced to move. Michelin Man, the only person with a significant amount of health on their team. Napo on the ground. Gonna be almost finding the kill, and it will be a kill. Napo going down for Jetpack Cats. Ooh, though, trading back with his barrage, taken out by Maxi, though. It is not looking good here for Jetpack Cats as Minty Hippos push on to the point with everything they've got, committing all the ultimates and everyone down for Jetpack Cats. That looks like it's gonna be it, unless Ooh can do something about it, but I think he'll just be going down as quick as the rest of his teammates. And then the next contest on Mercy Darkling, but they should see this point close out. Minty Hippos 2 minutes and 47 seconds left on the clock. Only a draw available for Jetpack Cats. That's all they can hope for here. It's all they're gonna try for. And both points taken for both teams, but the time bank in favor of Minty Hippos.
It's a valiant effort from the Jetpack Cats, but there was just unfortunately too many ults on the side of Minty Hippos, with them just literally having another person who can have an ult. And they just came in, and Minty Hippos did a great job at using those ults effectively, with the coalescence coming out from Dallas. It was just, overall, that coordination was back on the side of the Minty Hippos, and the lack of it was back for Jetpack Cats.
All right, we do see Nostromo back in the game. Hopefully not going to crash here. The Jetpack Cats, the 6th man, right when they need him, as it seems. This hold, though, is going to have to be very effective, as 2 minutes and 47 seconds, nothing to scoff at, and Minty Hippos have managed to push it quicker than that every single time. What do they need to do differently here? Now that they have a 6th man, how do you really detail yourself and go into this one with a positive mindset?
Well, I think now that they have 6, they have a better chance than when they had 5v6. I think if they land those hook halt combos with the Bastion damage, they have a great chance at keeping the Minty Hippos off their territory. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they'll play together.
better chance with 6 on 5. A bold statement. However, we'll be running the Bastion that we have not gotten to see all match. Going in the hook, lands on a quick taken out. That's exactly how you want to start off if you're Jetpack Cat.
That's exactly what they need to do, and that's exactly what they did. So that's what we want to keep seeing from them, just getting that halt hook combo on whoever walks through that door and raining down the damage with the boosted Bastion.
This is actually one of my favorite matchups to see here on Hanamura, the Bastion comp from both sides. As Jetpack just going to be rotating early. An interesting choice here is they run the Symmetra to get those rotations out, but they're just going to forego it altogether, setting themselves up in the corner, allowing Minty HIppos to go wherever they want. Ooh is in the middle of nowhere. Trying to TP up on top of them. An interesting choice. Not punished, though, as it looks like Minty HIppos just want to take this high ground. They set up Klaus taking a lot of damage, though. It takes a second to establish yourself, and a second might just be all the Jetpack Cats need as the halt lands. The shield goes down, the invulnerability field committed. P-Shroom looking for hook, not finding anything. Klaus taking so much damage here. It's Bastion versus Bastion. As this point goes in, the window committed from Minty HIppos. Will they be able to get onto this point, though?
That early rotation really allowed for Minty HIppos. Oh, gosh.
Oh, and Noshimo is right back out. A free pick.
Just,
I think HIppos. All right, and they say just start at 5-4, 3,
like that.
2, 1. No Roadhog alive, but the Bastion still left up. This is doable.
This is possible.
For Jetpack Cats.
The early coalescence.
Dropping his configuration tank and the wall to help him do it. The pick's starting to come out. Dallas Homer, the coalescence will be finding Notco. That's a lot of damage gone. No more Symmetra. And the kills rolling in for Minty HIppos. Cinnamon, though, finding the res onto Symmetra. That'll be super key. The damage will be important here. P-Shroom missing a hook onto a stationary Bastion. That's going to be a misplay if I ever saw one. Klaus raining in as much damage as he can, but the first Bastion to go down, and both of them are down. No res for either team here, though, as they push the point with the bongo. Hook landing. All the kills in the feed for Minty HIppos, and they take this point, finding the first tick, and up 2-0 go Minty HIppos.
Really, really well done from Minty HIppos. Unfortunate for Jetpack Cats. Losing somebody mid-game is way worse than just having one down, because you lose all your coordination and you lose a lot of your damage at that point. So they did a great job with what they had.
Yeah, you can't imagine. Oh my gosh, quick swinging down on this runner. This was massive. But again, you can't help but feel the confidence that must have given Minty HIppos in that push. You get paused mid-push, and all of a sudden you have 10 seconds to think about how far ahead you are in the fight all of a sudden. And that'll be the map. Minty HIppos going up 2-0. We won't say it was because it was a 5v6. However, the game was a little bit unfair, and I think we all would have liked to see maybe a little bit more of an even matchup here.
Yeah, there's no discounting how well Minty HIppos play. They're just a very coordinated team. Their DPS do a great job at pressuring the tanks. We did see some of that coordination from Jetpack Cats, so it's there. And when it's there, they're very strong and they're really good. I think they're just not great at focus. Well, not great. They just need to work on focusing the right people. That entire last fight, yes, they were down one, but Sho was on the flank the entire time and not being punished for it as Symmetra. Now, Symmetra can get very heavy on the damage, but overall, she's a little squishy, and she doesn't have movement abilities. So if enough of the team was able to turn around and just focus Sho down, I think they would have done maybe a little bit better. Evidently, they did lose that Roadhog mid-fight, so it's hard losing that much damage, and that would be something a Roadhog would do, is turn around and take care of the Symmetra. But just focusing down those DPS when they go on the flanks is what the Minty HIppos did to Notpo and U whenever they did that. So it's just doing the same to the other team.
All right, and I think we saw something a little bit better come out of Jetpack Cats there than we got to see on Ilios. And of all those things, it might have just been team coordination. They were ironically winning a few more fights with 5 players than they were with 6. And I think if they can find that 6th player, find someone to sub for them, they can pick up a free agent. I believe they are allowed to, and I think they'll look to in this little bit of a break that we have. But what kind of improvements did we see from Jetpack Cats that really led to their success, even a man down, that led to a little bit more of a change in mindset maybe out of Jetpack Cats? JStar?
So when you're a man down, you have to play to what your strengths are, and I think Jetpack Cats absolutely played to what their strengths are, which is the fast play, getting in, getting the picks, and securing fights. That Pharah play was huge from, correct me if I'm wrong, Ooh? Yes?
Yes.
He definitely showed up on that Pharah. And that Pharah was what ultimately led them to capping those 2 points. And even though they were down when they got Nostromo back, they looked really solid and they were holding off Minty Hippos. So if they can get a 6, I want to see them succeed. If they can get that 6th person, they can honestly do it very convincingly. I saw what they could do with 6, and I think that they can do it.
All right, it looks like Jetpack Cats are going to be looking to pick up the free agent himself, NPC. Hashtag let NPC play Widow. As we go into the next map, it will be King's Row as their pick. We're just waiting here for NPC to hop on. I think they should get him in. But until then, the map will be King's Row, and I can't wait. I hope to see some of this Reinhardt play that we saw from the teams earlier. Is there anything you're excited to see, Ziva?
Well, I'm excited to see them have a full team for longer than 5 minutes to begin with. Be a great start. Well, I'm hoping to just see them have that same passion and I guess energy that they had when they were down a player. Because sometimes that's what it is. It's just like the mental aspect of it is like, hey guys, we're down 1. Let's just go in there and do our best. Sometimes that happens when you're down 1 or when you find yourself, getting beat 2-0. Then you just say, screw it, we'll just throw our entire selves into it. And I think that's what they did when they were down, when they were like, whatever, let's just all go in as a team, play our best heroes, which is what Ooh did. So I think I want to see Ooh back on that Pharah. Because even when Klaus was on a Widow, Ooh did such a great job of pressuring Klaus so that Klaus couldn't get that pick on him, and even doing it to the Doomfist. So I'd like to see Ooh playing the DPS that he's clearly more comfortable on, because that's what those desperate times will bring out sometimes, is that, I guess, carry potential, or even just that, hey, I'm more comfortable on this DPS. Can we just do it since we're down 1? And that just showed that they could be dominant if they played the hero they're more comfortable with.
All right, it looks like Minty Hippos are going to be calling for a timeout. I think they need to do something real quick. However, King's Row, 6-man NPC, now a member of Jetpack Cats, an honorary member for the night. Hashtag let NPC play Widow. However, I think they'll put him on that off-tank role. I'm not really sure what his off-tank pool is like, but, they'll take whatever they can get here, pushing King's Row. Maybe he's got a Zarya in his back pocket. Of course, hit-scan players forced to play Zarya in the meta that was so unfortunately called GOATs. And we were just trying to figure out what on earth is going on with this lobby. This thing is all over the place. NA scrims, as we mentioned.
Yeah, NA scrims. Very NA scrims.
All right, just checking for both teams. To get ready, King's Row will be the next map, and we get into it. Minty Hippos versus Jetpack Cats. Map 3, a 6v6 this time, in favor of both teams and the viewers, I suppose. We'd all love to see a fair match. NPC is going to be the man to watch this time, loading in the man of the hour, coming in absolutely clutch for Jetpack Cats.
Well, at least I know nothing about NPC, so it'll be interesting to see what they bring in for the team. Coming in for that tank role, Yeah, tank role. It'll be interesting to see, because Shoma was doing a really good job on that Roadhog. Very, very good coordination with Michelin Man to get those hog hooks and the bubbles when they were playing Ryan Zarya. So, alright, he's an admin for Tranquility, I'm learning. I know things. I should probably know that. Still new to the game. My apologies. Thank you, Dor. So we're seeing NPC on Ryan instead of Michelin Man. That's interesting to see. Hopefully he can unbind his shift key, which is, I think, something Michelin Man needed a little bit of help with. No shade here. I also do that sometimes. Hopefully we'll see some coordination. And I think NPC has been watching the stream, so that they have a little bit of an idea of what Jetpack Cat can work on. So I think maybe they'll have a little bit of insight on what they can work on against this Minty Hippos team.
NPC, the man, the myth, the legend, will be locking in the Reinhardt, playing main tank for Jetpack Cats all of a sudden, and we get to see Ryan Zarya versus Orisa Hog. We saw Minty Hippos use it to great effect on a couple maps here. But will Jetpack Cats be able to push it as they decide they want to take main here? I love that we can see Oob on the farm. Michelin Man, though, forced to use his bubble. As NPC looking to push up a little bit further, and Show finding the first pick on the Michelin Man. Forced to use the res is Cinnamon. The damage from the farm not quite enough, and Show finding 2 more picks. One more pick. But Reinhardt, they're going to do something back up here. Jetpack Cats forced out.
Great focus by the Minty Hippos on that folding Zarya. They didn't give up, and they continued to focus him down until he was down. And at that point, you're missing bubble. You're not going to do a great job of keeping your team up. So that was a really good job at focusing, which is, I think, something that Jetpack Cat, that's a mouthful, could work on. Is just focus the right person.
I think the big adaptation we've seen here has been Show on the McCree. This far is not able to get nearly as much value. Forced out of the sky, and it will be Show picking him off. The res does come in, though. It'll get picked up, and Napo picking up Klaus. That will be the Reaper down. That will be a lot of damage gone. And Udo finding the whole hook. P-Shroom, absolutely huge coming up here. On the force off the point is Minty Hippos. P-Shroom looking to touch this a little bit longer, deny a lot of the percentage. Show, though, playing a little bit too far forward. They're getting picked off the invulnerability field, though will be going down for Minty Hippos. P-Shroom and Quick just trying to hold on to the point. NPC finds a shatter on the Dallas Homer. The heal's picked off, but P-Shroom, the whole hog will be forcing everybody off this point. As the DPS and 2 tanks left alive from Minty Hippos, just trying to stall, just trying to get them a little bit more time to get their healers back. But it will be a 4v2 going on this point for just a little bit longer. Show coming back onto the point, but picked off will be Quick. Klaus forced to use his race form as it looks at the point, just going to tick down in favor of Jetpack Cats and Minty Hippos giving it up.
Jetpack Cat did a really great job there at staying calm despite the fact that they were losing 1 or 2 in the fight. NPC landed a huge shatter there on I think both healers. So overall they're playing a little bit more coordinated than they were, and I think they just need to keep that up. There are 2 ults, or almost 3 ults on the side of the Minty Hippos, and 1 on the side of the Jetpack Cats. So they'll have to play, I think, a little aggressive here to try and force some of those ults out. So we'll see what they decide to do.
Now, Minty has a pretty good opportunity here. This corner, of course, great to hold. They didn't get quite the forward choke that they wanted. Their tanks going down last and getting the worst spawns may have something to do with that. However, this corner can be good playing against a Reinhardt. The halt hook is so dangerous here. The bongo drop. The halt hook looks for it, but the shield gonna be denying it. Costa finding a pick on a Napo will stop this push in its tracks. Minty Hippos being holding this corner just a little bit longer. Peach pushing up aggressively, looking for the hook, but the grab is committed along with the coalescence. That'll be a lot of damage going down, as well as the pulse bomb committed from Ooh, finding on Maxi, and the kills all in favor of Jetpack Cats. Down a man, but not down in their spears. So the shatter comes in. NPC finding 3. The sub coming in huge for Jetpack Cats, swinging like a madman, just trying to touch the cart. Minty Hippos trying to buy a little bit of time, but all of a sudden 6-man spirits high all the way empowered. Jetpack Cats looking like a different team.
Jetpack Cats did a really good job at using their ults correctly there. That Coalescence Zarya ult was a great, as well as Pulse Bomb was a good combo. I'm not sure if Reinhardt ult was necessary there, as impressive as it looked to get a triple shatter like that. They were already down at least 2, even 3, so I'm not sure if it was necessary. Now he's gonna have to make sure he can have that up in time, as Quick does.
Alright, the point taken for free after just 1 fight. Forced back is Minty Hippos, and swapping onto that Reinhardt. There's going to be a little bit of that ult charge given up, as well as the Hanzo swap on the side of Jetpack Cats. Going to be looking to find a few of these longer range picks to use this high ground effectively. Unless it's committed maybe a little bit early. Just going to back up here. The grab committed a little bit late here. They're just stuck inside of it. NPC though, swinging like a madman, putting in so much damage. Napo picking off Klaus, who looked to ult in the backline, not going to be finding any value. Quick though, trading on the NPC. Main tank taking out NPC. The madman with the big shadow we saw before, not so big anymore. Quick showing him just how dangerous he can be on the Reinhardt.
They got a little bit messy there, both sides I would say with their ult use, but a little bit more on the side of Jetpack Cats. The Coalescence was a little early, then the Zarya ult was a little bit late, and now they don't have the Zarya ult to combo with Hanzo ult. So I think there was maybe a little bit of miscommunication there between the team. But other than that, both teams have been showing really good coordination, and that's I think why Jetpack Cat is having a really good push here.
And next fight, we will see the Shatter fight. We will see how effective NPC is on this. Reinhardt as the mind games start to play. The Nano comes in, the shield is dropped, and Quick finds 3 with his Shatter, swinging like a madman. The Nano absolutely huge. He's purple though, he's a little bit low here, but nonetheless, the fight closed out for Minty HIppos.
Just when you were talking about that mind game, we saw who won. If I'm not wrong, they both pressed Q, but Quick did just a little bit after NPC. So NPC was mid ult animation when Quick did it before NPC, my bad. So he was mid animation, and he managed to get off that Shatter on the entire team. Very well done by Quick.
Yeah, NPC looking to shatter that Nano. Reinhardt deny a little bit of that value, but quicker on the trigger finger, you might say, as this team is split in half by a really good Dragon. The position is going to be totally in favor of Jetpack as they collapse. On a Quick with a massive purple will be taking out NPC, followed up by the coalescence from Dallas. Homer finding pick after pick after pick, forcing Jetpack Cats off at this point.
Jetpack Cats did a really good job with that ult from Ooh to push them into a position that they weren't very comfortable with. But then Maxi landed this huge anti, followed by the coalescence. It was a great response to that. So hopefully Jetpack Cats can use their Nano Bob. Maybe Nano Bob would be a good idea to use here, or coalescence with Bob, or some kind of a coordination of that. But we'll see how they decide to use their ults here.
They can use the Bob to force them backwards, and if they choose so to Nano their Rhine, the other Rhine will be forced to hold up his shield while NPC gets to swing like a madman. The Nano comes in quick though, finding a Shatter onto 2. Is it going to be enough though? Nobody taking enough damage to go down here. NPC still Nano, not being able to swing onto anybody. Nobody in range. P-Shroom taking the next Nano for his team, finding one onto Napo. Udo trading back onto Show, the DPS going down left and right though. NPC finding one with the Fire Strike, Mission of the Man, finding Maxi. The main heals down for the side of Minty HIppos. P-Shroom, the last man left alive as the point pushes forward. Quick has something to say about it though.
Well, that was great ult use, I think, from Jetpack Cats. They came in with Bob and Bob at first, Bob and Coalescence, and then used the Nano to keep their Rhine alive. So that was a great use of their ults.
1 pick, 2 picks for Minty HIppos though, as they look to turn this point right back around. That's all you need on these last points when the spawns are so close. You need just 1 pick, 2 picks. P-Shroom, Bozari is left alive. NPC though, the main tank left on the field. Quick forced onto the hamster ball. And it looks like Jetpack Cats are going to look to do a soft disengage here. NPC swinging though like a madman. The flash goes down onto him, a little bit too aggressive, a little bit too cocky. There's no main tank left for Jetpack Cats. 19 seconds ticking down the picks, all in favor of Minty HIppos. The coalescence committed. They want to get back here. Wait as long as they can for these spawns to come in before they commit to this fight. Two ults for Jetpack Cats. It looks like it's going to be what they need to close this one out. The death blossom committed from Udo, not going to be finding anybody. Klaus finding Lich Man. In fact, taking out Jetpack Cats off tank. Klaus's ult will be bigger, finding one onto Darkling. And this is looking in favor of Minty HIppos. 1 for 1 on the last point. Always going to be in favor of the defenders. Not Poe and Cinnamon left alive. And that'll be it. Overtime ticking down. Held just before the end are the Jetpack Cats.
So we saw a much more coordinated Jetpack Cat team here. It's just lovely to see. You see when they got that coordination, that communication, they really can do some great things. There were a few moments where you saw there might have been some miscommunication, but overall that was a great push. They got it almost to the end, so now it's just going to be on holding that defense really well, being flexible and ready to counter whatever Minty HIppos decides to run.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things there that we saw from Jetpack Cats at the end of the match, and it really it highlighted the desynchronization of NPC and the rest of Jetpack Cats. He is, of course, a sub coming in and playing with a team that he's never gotten to play with before. And so when he's doing this, we're seeing him get desynced with his team, oftentimes maybe playing a little bit more aggressive than Jetpack Cats are looking to. And I think the more maps we see go by, the more we'll see him get used to that, and the more empowered Jetpack Cats will become. However, I think you won't get more empowered than the mental boost that you get from finding a 6th player all of a sudden, and boy, I'd love to see this stay. A Genji Widow locked in for Minty HIppos.
Interesting to run a Genji Widow with a Ryan Zarya, but it's possible. It's doable. Oh,
Something tells me it's not
as
going
we
to
said
stay.
it. Yeah, I was saying that seemed like an interesting comp. There were a few moments where, yeah, NPC looked like he was pushing in when Jetpack Cats or the rest of Jetpack Cats weren't. So it's just fixing those little bits of miscommunication, but I think other than that, they did a great job, and so did Minty HIppos.
Now Cat striking right back. The comps flipped in the game, turned around with 6 men alive on the point to defend this time. NPC and Michelin Man this time running the Arista Sigma back into Minty Hippos. Ryan will be up to the task. Is going to be able to do it. Dynamite comes in just a little bit too early on the shot. They look to reset hotel. Quick knot with this team. This team just going to regroup as much as they can. The Dynamite goes in, but it's not going to be finding anybody. Quick shield dropping real low. He's going to charge in with the bubble. Finds Michelin Man. The Sigma drops low, but P-Shroom and Klaus going to be going down without their main tank in front of them any longer. This fight, all the kill feed is going to be red with Jetpack Cat's names all over it.
That was just a great coordination from U and with the team. Is turning around. They were picking the people that were important and all focusing down those people. So that's the kind of way you want to play it, is pick a person, yell their name until they're dead, and it seems that that's what they did. And that's what we'll hope to see. They've got Hanzo ult here for this fight. That's a really good zoning ult. They've also got, well, they're going to get Coalescence definitely this fight. But we've got Coalescence on the side of Minty Hippos. So
oh my goodness, what is happening? Klaus TP'd onto the high ground. The entirety of Minty Hippos TP'd on the high ground. The Bastion doing something or another up there, but it gives them the positioning on point. They get to follow up the Coalescence. That has been the biggest brain play I've seen in all of my entire lifetime. It's given them such an advantage in the positioning, and they never saw the Coalescence coming as it takes out 2 members of Jetpack Cats. The Reds does come in. Cinnamon will be picking up NPC. The main tank back alive. The Nano drops onto P-Shroom, but the bomb holding onto this point for so long. And Jetpack Cats push it just a little bit longer. But the spawns are so much closer. Minty Hippos just trying to push, but Napo landing in so much damage onto Klaus. Force back P-Shroom. When you do a soft reset, here will be Minty Hippos.
Jetpack Cat did such a great job at reacting. It's such a weird strat, something I've never seen before. Great job on them at adapting to that.
Quick on the ball. Maybe not the pick that he wanted here, swapping onto it, maybe just for the stall to get the point a little bit quicker. But P-Shroom shield will be the only thing between a Hanzo and Ash and his Bastion. Looking to push the point. The TP goes high. He looks like he's getting ready to use it just again, but the TP drops. He's going to be forced to move forward with his Arista. But the Dragon will be denying him any sort of positioning. Until then, P-Shroom and Dallas Homer, the only people before Minty able to push this point. But the Gravitic Flux does come in, picking up Klaus, and it looks like that might just be the pick on the Bastion. No, he doesn't go down. Enough healing from Dallas Homer, keeping it alive. The next shield will be absolutely massive when P-Shroom gets it down. He gets it down and establishing his Bastion onto the point, but Klaus completely missing the Arista on his, to his left. Dealing so much damage onto that critical point onto his back. And quick, left alive, but no Bastion finish out the damage show. Desperately trying to get it enough with this symmetric beam. He starts getting charged up on the Earth Shield. He is a threat now. They're pushing forward slowly but surely. Is Minty Hippos as they establish themselves on the point. With those mines gaining the map control, they need an NPC goes down. That's a massive pick. The main tank down, and it looks like Show gonna be finding Notpo. And that might just be the first point. It took a little bit of a while, but Minty Hippos will be taking point A.
And honestly, Jetpack Cats did a great job at not panicking at the Bastion. That's something sometimes teams will do, is just panic and give the Bastion what they want. But they did a good job at playing around the corner so that Klaus doesn't have as much value. Unfortunately, that Wrecking Ball is just great at doing exactly what it did, is get the defending team off of the point.
And that's an absolutely huge stagger on a Darkling, not dying immediately after the point's gone. We see how far back in spawn he is. They're gonna, Minty Hippos are gonna get to push this point with the Bastion on it for at least 2 of these corners, which is not a position you want to be in if you're Jetpack Cats.
And I mean, Minty Hippos has 3 ults up right now, so using the Hanzo ult, oh, I was gonna say to get Bastion off is a great way to do that.
Dragon will be enough NPC coming up with the kill feed, followed up with the kill from the Dragon, and then Minty is just going to force it back off here. The question is, do they swap off this Bastion? They're not quite done with this fight yet, but Dallas Homer will be going down to that. That'll be all she wants.
Seeing him and on Reaper, that Bastion ult is not the strongest, especially if they don't have point control. So the switch onto Reaper, I think, is the right move. I think Jetpack Cats just needs to use their ults intelligently here. They've got almost all of them up, but you don't want to throw them all in one fight, so it'll be about cycling the ults in an intelligent way.
And when you're up in the ultimate economy like this, it is entirely up to you to use your ults correctly in close fights as quickly as possible. They have the tools. Will they be able to use them? Maybe see the Hulk coming in here. Forced out, they use the bomb to gain that damage advantage. And the Dynamite absolutely massive on the feature. The invulnerability will force out early, quick. Then to gain a little bit of ground, but the Earth Shields both drop. So much damage from the side of Jetpack Cats, and they just can't hold on to it. Minty Hippos forced back off this cart. so much damage and very few ultimates used.
Yeah, that was exactly what they needed to do, is be conservative, but not too conservative where they didn't use any ults. They used the bongos and Bob to secure that fight, which was really good. But now on the side of Minty Hippos, they've got 3 ults coming up just about, with that coalesce very close. So it'll be interesting to see how they use their ults on both sides here.
And now, coming up, winning 2 fights in a row, we see Jetpack has effectively earned a cornerback, and they're going to use it. They're going to use it proactively, finding 4 with the Gravitic Flux, using the Fortify to get out of it. Will be T-shirt. No Fortify available. They use the Bongo around the corner. Michelin Man just trying to stay alive. He's trying to use the shield to defend his team a little bit longer, but the Dragon will split Minty Hippos into 4 and 2. Darklink, though, fragging it out on the quick split from his healers. And the kills, again, all in favor of Jetpack Cats here. Massive plays. Great disengage, though, from Jetpack Cats, effectively turning that corner around, but using a lot of ultimates in the process.
Sorry, I'm dying. 30 seconds. That was a great use of Oo's ult there to split the team. He's been using his Hanzo ult in a way that's not greedy. It just does a good job at splitting the team in half, which then allows his team to focus the people who got pushed aside. So hopefully he keeps using them like that.
Alright, it's time to Gravitic Flux going the other way, comboed with the window. Gonna be looking to put a lot of damage down on his Jetpack Cats team. Nobody going down with the Gravitic Flux, though, as they push in. The accretion blocked by Michelin Man with his shield over time, ticking down. They're going to be forced to keep a man on cart, though, as they have no intention of leaving this anytime soon. Show going in, fighting a lot of damage, but it will be Michelin Man finding the pick onto Klaus. In reverse, Michelin Man taking the damage, and the positions all in favor. But another dragon charged up. Who finding quick? This man's been charging up dragons like it's nothing. And the kills traded back Darklink. The main heal's gone. But the kill feed is red here. As Jetpack has looking to end this one at the second point of King's Row. Not something you see too often here. But the Hippos holding on the point a little bit longer. Klaus looking for another one of those big ultimates. He's even getting all game, but a C9, his team off the cart. It will be a game for Jetpack Cats, bringing the score up 2-1. Looking to turn this one around. What an incredible map from them, and what a turnaround.
I mean, fantastic job from the side of Jetpack Cats. We saw that coordination we've been looking for them, and Oo's ults were on point, not just getting the kills, but splitting the team. A really great ult use overall, and here you saw it, Darklink also did a great job at keeping the team alive every time Gravitic Flux was used, throwing down that orb the minute they were all in air, so that when they landed, the orb was giving them the amount of healing they needed to stay alive. Look at the amount of healing that Dallas got. I mean, we haven't talked about the healers a lot so far. We got to give them props for keeping their teams alive through all these high damage close team fights.
Oh, one moment.
Yeah, no worries. Sorry, dying a little. Overall, I think we saw a lot closer fights this time. Jetpack Cats, I think, just used their ults more effectively, especially, I know I spoke about it like 3 times already, but just Oo's use of Hanzo ult, which can be such an amazing ult, but can also, if used incorrectly, be like an ult that doesn't do much. But they just are using it really correctly, and they have that coordination. I think NPC is doing a great job at leading the team forward. Obviously we can't hear their comms, but I'm sure I can see a coordination that just wasn't there before. Not to discount what Shoma was doing, but I think NPC's doing a great job coming into a team that they'd never play with, and getting that coordination is really difficult. They're doing a great job as a team.
Yeah, I think the longer we see this go, the more time Jetpack Cats have to coordinate with NPC and with this newly found 6-man roster that they're going to be running, and that means a lot of stuff for the future of this series. What do you think it's going to mean, JStar?
So NPC was definitely a morale booster for Jetpack Cats. You could see it right off the bat by how they played. The first point attack, they definitely came in with a newfound energy, newfound aggression, and it really paid off for him in the long run. NPC played up, showing off that he can play more than just his Reinhardt, showing off that he can play a little bit of Orisa too. His Orisa plays were on point. The pulls were looking phenomenal, and all around just solid play from the side of Jetpack Cats. Now, if Minty Hippos would like to take back what they want, they are going to have to match the aggression. I know I said it was the other way around at the beginning, but the tables have turned. So, with that being said, Minty Hippos need to play a little bit more aggressive to match what Jetpack Cats are bringing out currently.
All right, and that will be it for our time before halftime. Jetpack Cats striking back 1-2 6v6. It will be that hopefully for the rest of this match. We will see you in just about 10 minutes. All right, welcome back from another riveting halftime. Lots of action in that one as everybody took a little bit of a water break. But we get back into it. Jetpack Cats striking back 1-2, looking to take this series back in the reins. Of course, this will be a 1st to 4, so it's not quite over yet, and these maps are getting more and more exciting by the game. Of course, next map will be Gibraltar, picked by Minty HIppos, getting this map pick, of course, because they lost the previous map, being Kings Row. We saw a lot of changes there, namely the substitution of NPC, the one and only, the man himself, playing Reinhardt and Orisa, coming in absolutely massive. And we'll see if he's able to do it again here. Is there anything that we're looking for particularly on Gibraltar?
So something that I want to look for on Gibraltar is the tank play. The tank play is something that this map that it gets affected so much by the tank play. If you want to run the double barrier, you can run the double barrier, and you can play the meta to perfection and try to get the picks and everything. Or you could run Orion Zarya, also very viable here. Or we could see a different type of pick coming with the dive. Dive is something we have yet to see from either side, and it'll be interesting to see if it is brought out. Dive on this map is so strong because of all the high ground that you have on this map.
You know, I would absolutely love to see NPC Winston on top of everything we've seen tonight. Let NPC play Widow. Let NPC play Winston. Stack it on top of all those hashtags you guys love so much. This man is a bag of tricks if I've ever seen one. And going into Gibraltar, this will be the perfect place for him to show him off. Of course, lots of wonky strategies you can run here. I'm interested to see, though, what the attacking team decides to do, because of course you don't have to run dive here. You can run some super weird stuff. Of course, the Winston being an option, Bastion is playable. You can push up the left side here onto the high ground, and it looks like a Bastion will be coming out for Minty HIppos on defense. And that'll make this fight a lot more interesting against the dive of Jetpack Cats.
That's what I really love about Gibraltar is there's no obvious comp. I mean, there are some stronger comps, but just about anything can work, and so it's really interesting to see what teams pull out. So it looks like we are seeing the dive on the side of Jetpack Cats, which I think can be really strong if they coordinate it correctly. That's the biggest thing about dive is coordination.
And I think a lot of the onus will be onto the supports of Minty HIppos. Will be something you need to really keep an eye out for. Dallas, Homer, and Maxi have their work cut out for them, keeping Klaus alive here. There's going to be so much damage raining in from Ooh, but Sho might just have something to say about this Pharah. Alright, looking to set up their dive. NPC, the first man in. Michelin man going to follow up with the Winston, but the card just continues forward. Minty HIppos forced to rotate here soon enough. The damage coming in on the Klaus, and they won't have vision of this cart much longer. NPC pushed to the high ground. His defense makes something to keep him alive quite long enough against that Roadhog Hogan. He gets picked off as well. Cart will be getting stuck here on the low ground. Klaus dropping that Bastion. He's laying in a lot of damage here the second he gets set up. And it looks like Jetpack Cats are just going to want to get out of here for a little.
Yeah, I think they might want to consider a switch. Against Sebastian, dive is not always the most usable strategy. It is possible that it's tricky. If the Pharah can get that damage down on the Bastion and really they can get the pressure down on the Bastion, then it's possible. We'll see if they continue to run it though.
Yeah, so much coordination required for dive competitions like this. When you have a brand new player like NPC coming into this comp, it's going to be super difficult to do that. But they're lined up on the high ground. They're ready to push this. And the question is, will Minty Hippos be able to keep alive? The hook comes in, down, but Napo finding the mass pick on the Klaus is crazy. So effective, but instantly stunned by Show and taken right out of that fight. But a huge purple lands onto 3 members of Minty Hippos. Ooh, using that barrage, it will only be taking out that invulnerability field. The damage coming down, but it's not enough. Cinnamon looks to get hooked here, and it's gonna be enough as the Coalescence follows up from Dallas Homer to close out that fight.
It was a great attempt from Jetpack Cats with that nano barrage and the use of the rest to bring back Winston. But the Coalescence from Dallas Homer great at keeping the team alive enough to come back and get the picks that were needed. So great job on Minty Hippos here. I think Jetpack Cats needs to keep in mind that they're lower on the ult economy. They've got 4 to 2 ults. Because they did use 3 ults this last fight. In fact, no, 3 ults. And now they're off of the dive. They're on Arista Sigma and Hanzo, which I think is a good choice.
5 ultimates in the bank for Minty Hippos is surely going to dig into the time bank of the Jetpack Cats here, set up on the high ground. Maybe something on his Bastion. Pulse Bomb, though, might just be enough from Napo if he can land it before the invulnerability field hits. And Maxi, out of line of sight of his Bastion for just a little bit of time. That's all they're gonna need. Napo's waiting for his opportunity. He goes in. He lays the damage down. The Pulse Bomb lands, but the invulnerability field keeping the Bastion alive. Wow, lives to see another day. As P-Shroom uses his whole hog, looking to put a lot of damage on. Napo trading on the show, though. The kills ways, both ways yet again. Quick taking out NPC. No main tank is gonna be absolutely massive. But P-Shroom fighting Napo. It's gonna be a lot of damage gone for Jetpack Cats stuck in this tiny little room. The cart going nowhere. P-Shroom making sure it stays right underneath that bridge as they just look to fight an individual fight, but the spawns are gonna be closer to Minty Hippos here.
So Minty Hippos are being really happy with that fight. They did not put many ults to it, and they are coming out with now 3 ults still. It's a great ult economy on their part.
Also, we're gonna be committing the co-op to close out that fight inside of the smaller room and force them back just a little bit longer as they reset back at the top of this hill. It's tough to take, but Napo has something to say about it. The jump gun on the backline, almost finding the pick on an arc link, landing 1 grenade, but it's not going to be enough damage. They just restand themselves.
Let's see if Ooh can get one of those really good splitting ults here, or at least on the Stagnant Bastion, to see if he can get that very important pick.
Bastion stuck in recon, going to be reasserting himself with the window. Behind him, the dragon comes in, the invulnerability field, keeping it alive just a little bit longer, but
beautiful.
Goes down along with the Bastion. Klaus getting taken out. Every single kill in the feed is red, and they manage to take point A. Jetpack Cats with just enough time in the bank.
That is exactly what we wanted to see from there, is using that ult to pressure down the Bastion. Bastion didn't see a good reaction. I think he thought that he was safe in that invincibility barrier, but unfortunately it has less HP now. So it got the pick that they needed with that pick on Klaus, and I think on Dallas as well, to bring out that fight. And a great Valk from Cinnamon, giving them that extra damage to be able to do it.
Not quite done with this comp is Minty Hippos. They still have the Bastion. They're looking to set them up on the low ground. But Napo going to be looking to deny a lot of that area. The high nuke will be used, taking out 2 kills for show. Minty Hippos set himself up in a great position to defend this part right here on this corner. Klaus needs to get into his turret form, helped by a halt from NPC. Will be getting right into position. Holding this corner will be absolutely key for Minty Hippos.
Minty Hippos has really good positioning right now. It's going to be hard to unseat that Bastion, and they need to use that, they need to wait for Hanzo to get his ult and use that one the way they did the last one.
They will be coming up on a lot of ultimates. I can kill a Bastion here. The Coalescence committed the Riptire as well. The invulnerability field keeping alive for now, but not much longer. The Riptire goes down on the quick. Bastion for Minty Hippos will immediately get a dragon to the face. He is pushed off this point. 2 men left alive for Minty Hippos. They'll look to try and hold on to this one, but they will not be able to. They're going to point C.
Great use of Grav Flux there to bait out the invincibility field, so that when Ooh tossed in his ult, there was nothing that the Minty Hippos could do.
Non-stop kills in the feed here. Jetpack Cat's looking to push a little bit more forward, find a little bit more value. The hook goes, it lands on a Michelin Man. This could be a pretty important pick, as it would allow Minty Hippos to take the next corner. But it will not be Michelin Man going down. Today, his tires nice and safe.
Minty Hippos needs to decide now whether they want to. If they decide not to, or decide to, they need to start using it. They've been holding on to that for like 4 fights now.
Bongo committed. This is an important fight. The Minty Hippos to hold. They want to hold on to this corner, and it looks like they will. 3-4 kills going in favor of Minty Hippos as they get to hold the top of this hill yet again.
Oh, what a stagger. Oh god. Okay, so the res there on NPCs is not fantastic. I thought they would be back, but they did get a little bit staggered there. Now they're back and they can push them together. Got 4 ults to use. 4 ults on both sides, so at this point it'll be on who uses what ult correctly.
They got pushed back. Their shield's going down very quick due to this Hanzo. Klaus has to send stuff up much further back, so that's only going to give the Hanzo a little more room to shred on him, but it doesn't matter when there's a window in front of your robot NPC getting absolutely shredded through by this Bastion. Going to be one more fight in favor of Minty Hippos, unless Jetpack Cat looks to soft reset this and maybe get a little bit more value. Dropping on the back line, he's really getting some damage down, but not going to do the kill. Notpo trading on to Klaus. The Bastion's down. This is their chance. Jetpack Cat to engage with the Coalescence and the Dragon to cut the team in half. Klaus, though, will be spawning soon enough. They need to win this fight early, and they do. They find the Riptire finds 2 kills, and all of the kills are purple, but Klaus finding 1 with his configuration tank, and it's not going to be enough. The point closed out. 28 seconds left in the bank for Jetpack Cats.
When you're that close to the enemy spawn and you have 4 strong damage ults such as Junkrat Tire, Bong, you've got Bongos, and Hanzo ult, at that point you just need to press Q because you're close. You know if you win that battle you're going to push it to the end. So they did a very good job of being aggressive with their ults there.
Alright, coming in is, what do you think we're going to look for? Jetpack Cats seemingly not really running to run a lot of the same things that Minty Hippos are. But maybe on a map like this, they swap to the Bastion. They say, "Okay, your turn to dive us."
So we saw them still on Bastion quite a long time in Hippos. So it'll be interesting if they pull that out on attack because it is a valid strat, and they seem pretty comfortable. Klaus seemed pretty comfortable on that Bastion, but they may decide to pull out the dive the same way that Jetpack Cats did. So it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do.
Now, we don't see them line up on the Bastion. In fact, going to be playing that Hanzo. You've seen him play so well all night. Notpo lining up with an Ashe, looking to dynamite this cart, get a little bit more damage down. But an interesting comp that I don't think Minty Hippos is going to be sticking with. A Ball, Zarya, Widow, Genji. Some interesting picks, but I don't think they're very long for life here.
Be nice to see it. Change it up a little bit.
We can only dream as...
Well, I'm glad to see staying on the Hanzo. He's doing a really good job on it. So I think when something's working, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So we're actually seeing this, Hammond Zarya doing really... No.
Hammond Zarya not actually it's a pretty decent comp in and of itself. Looking to cause a lot of discord, looking to cause a lot of opportunities for Show to get in here on the Genji, and he will be getting in as the cart gets pushed forward. He takes a bubble, gets a lot of that damage, and the cart is pushed underneath this hill without fault.
Jetpack Cats definitely caught off guard with the comp they pulled out, but I think now that they know that they're running, they must be able to focus down a little bit better.
This Show on the Genji forcing Blue's Hanzo off the high ground and denying a lot of the value of the cart. And just so slowly push forward. Show dropping. There's Deflect dashing back to his team. Uda will be taking out Klaus. The sniper will now have free reign for the side of Jetpack Cats. Show just trying to find something inside the back line of the red team, but he will get taken out. The burning dynamite going to be just enough damage to take him over onto the other side.
It's good that they're getting control of the point here. That's exactly what makes it harder for the enemy team to push in. So they've done a great job at settling themselves right on the point, bunkering down. That's exactly what you want to do when you're playing that kind of game. So now, Minty Hippos just has to find a way to disrupt that the best way they can.
And this is one of the key things that we'll see going into this point, is the fact that Show has not managed to get his Dragon Blade yet. Of course you can Nano Coalescence, not a bad combo in and of itself, especially against a stationary team like what Jetpack Cats are running, but it's definitely not the Nano Blade that you wanted. With only 60% on Show's Blade, they might not want to wait that long. Grenade will come in from Quick, dealing a lot of damage. Oh, but the mines find Michelin, man! And Show dashing in, finishing off Cinnamon, dealing just enough damage to take out the Mercy's fight. Looking very in favor of Minty Hippos. Nano not required. He will be trying to hold on to it for next fight. Klaus finding kill. They're going to need to damage out this Bob without losing a man. Hopefully, and Bob just go down.
Quick did a great job at using mines there to get them off of the point, which is what you need to do when you're running it against the Narisa Sigma.
Dragon committed, the re-engage starts. Michelin Man, the man set with the task of holding the cart. Darklink will commit his coalescence, and the Graviton on top of his Show will be using the blade. It's an enough minute. No, it is not. As the dashes, the slashes, the swipes come down in the point, trying to be closed out here for Minty Hippos, but they can't quite do it cleanly. They will, though, maybe find this pick on Ooh. They can get it in time. Yes, it will be the point for Minty Hippos.
Well, that was a valiant attempt from Oop and the Jetpack Cats to hold on to that point, despite the use of Zarya, of Grab's Blade, which was a little bit messy, almost not as coordinated as we expect from Minty Hippos, but they got the point, and that's all that matters.
The Minty Hippos, that's really bad for you. You used effectively 2 of your better abilities, and now you're stuck with a nano on deck and nobody to use it on here, as well as no Graviton in your back pocket. Point, let's go. So hard, push.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
Well, it is possible to toss that Nano onto the Zarya to let her get charged. But here, they're getting some good value just from this Widow, forcing out the other team. We're seeing Diva now on the side of the Jetpack Cats, hoping to be able to dive on that Widow, not let her have all the power of the world. We're seeing Bob on the side of Jetpack Cats pulling out. Ooh, popping off on the right with Storm Arrow, and Bob putting in a good amount of damage onto the point, allowing the Jetpack Cats to get the point control that they need here. It seems like my comrade's mic is no longer working, so I apologize for that. Jetpack Cats did a great job at keeping point control there. I think the Diva switch was a very good one. Now their Diva Rhine. Diva will do a great job at keeping control of the high ground, and the Rhine will do a good job at keeping control of the point, so it's a good mix to do. Ooh is doing a really good job at keeping track of the Widow and keeping her kind of held back and not able to do as much work as possible. So we've got sorry, my bad, I'm sick as well. Alright, we've got on the side of Jetpack Cats, we've got Hanzo coming in right now to split the team up. So we've got Zarya on her own and Diva right on Zarya, and let's see if we can get that pick. And they do manage to get the pick on Shroom. So once again, Oop managed to get that ult straight down the middle of the point, isolating the Zarya from her team and making it an easy pick for them. Now they've got 4 ults on the side of the Minty Hippos. Got that Zarya grab with the Nano and Genji ult. So it'll be interesting to see if they decide to use all 3 of those. They are using walls now to get a good idea of where everybody is. And they've got Diva Bomb on lock for Jetpack Cats. We're seeing Nano Blade come out now, as well as Hammond ult. Diva Bomb coming out for the side of Jetpack Cats, not getting anything. A little bit of control on the point, but that Nano Blade was just enough for Minty Hippos to get control of the point. Very good job on that team, and now they're still going to have Grav for the other side. We're seeing Ooh come in as Doomfist. And they managed to get control of the point with just the walls. Oh, I spoke too soon. Reinhardt coming in with an ult. Big, massive shatter from the side of Jetpack Cats getting 2, getting 3. Now it's just Moira on point. And Genji trying desperately to make it back to the point. They do a great job at focusing down. That was a gigantic side of really carrying, I mean not carrying, but really carrying at least that fight. I really thought it was over side of Minty HIppos. Fantastic job by Jetpack Cats to come back with that use of Shatter and great focus on whoever was shattered. U did a really good job at splitting the team with Arrow. You see it right there. Focusing down that lamp so that he could get that critical pick on the Bastion, which was really giving the team trouble. A fantastic job from U, fantastic job from Jetpack Cat. They really kept it together, and I really appreciate the tenacity they had to continue to fight on that last point. I genuinely thought they were going to give it to them, which would have been a normal reaction to that.
All right, am I back?
You are back. Welcome back, Dor.
Thank you for holding that one over for me. You did a great job on play-by-play there.
I did my best.
Good enough. Don't worry, we will be moving into the next pack. The score is tied up 2-2. Jetpack Cats with all the momentum in the world going into this next one as we get our way back into the lobby here. It will be Minty HIppos' pick yet again. Will they find the counter pick they need in order to start turning the series back around in their favor?
So, U is just completely running over Minty HIppos right now. They need to find a counter for him. And once they find a counter, that's when I think Minty HIppos will start to pick it up again. So once they are able to find that counter, that's when Minty HIppos will start winning fights more. They're relying too much on ultimate combos right now. They are losing every other phase of the game except the ultimate phase, which is paying off in the long run for Jetpack Cats. And if this continues, Minty HIppos are not looking too hot right now. But from the side of Jetpack Cats, though, it definitely looks like a switch was flipped. Having that 6-person back definitely helps them.
All right, Minty HIppos seemingly unable to make a map pick here. However, like you mentioned, has been completely unstoppable against Hanzo, and Hanzo can have so much effect in these neutral fights. And when Minty HIppos is giving him so much time to get his ultimate charge, and he's able to charge it seemingly about one time a fight, he's able to use the dragons to cut them in half, and he's managing to do it nearly every single point, as it looks like Minty HIppos will be taking Jetpack Cats to Nepal. What do you think this means for him?
So Nepal is another pick that I thought they would go to right away, just because of some of the strengths that Hippos have. And I think Nepal plays exactly into the way that the Hippos want to play. They want to play a little more of a fast-paced game, but if O continues to pop off, it doesn't matter how fast you play, because you'll end up with a Hanzo arrow in your head.
All right, Hanzos be darned. We are going to Nepal. This map has all sorts of interesting stuff, all sorts of interesting points. A lot of May Reaper, as the first map will be Village. What do you think we're going to see here, Ziva?
So we're back on King of the Hill, which we saw Jetpack struggling on the first one, which is... So it'll be interesting to see what they pull out. This Nepal is a lot different than Ilios in terms of just the way the maps are built. On this first one, something that's popular is May Reaper, May Doomfist, because cut off one side of the point with a May wall and catch some people out. So I think we'll probably see that. Other than that, Rein Zarya is also pretty popular here, as we see it on both sides. Rein Zarya with a Reaper or Doomfist, and that Moira Lucio. But I'm really happy to see U sticking to that Hanzo. He's really doing a lot of work that last map, doing a great job. I'm not surprised to see Rein Zarya. It's usually Rein Zarya, or with a May, or Sigma with a May, Sigma Arisa with May. So I'm excited to see this NPC versus Quick Rein matchup.
All right, and Klaus on McCree, something we haven't gotten to see yet. We did get to see Show on McCree, however, Klaus throwing it back at him, as both teams here will be taking the high ground, forcing to play this neutral fight, and Hanzo will be super effective here, unless McCree can find some sort of stun on the Quick. All right, starting the engagement. Both teams not wanting to leave anything up here. Trying to rain down, trying to find the damage they've been putting in these entire games, and it will be finding the first pick on attack mouse. Show though trading back on NPC. No main tank for the side of Jetpack Cats, and Michelin Man stuck in no man's land, forced to back up the rest of his teammates will all be going to point. Peachroom finding Dark Link spells disaster for the Jetpack Cats. Quick charging in, starting to swing. Not Poe though. Forced to use his Wraith form. They're pushing back on the point. Jetpack Cats not quite has one yet, and another Dragon Charge in no time. NPC taken out. Plus, this isn't over yet for Jetpack Cats, but the Coalescence might just spell the end of this fight.
Yeah, we saw the early loss of NPC there on the Jetpack Cats. It really puts them at a disadvantage immediately. Well, I think they should have probably just backed off there. Personally, that's what I would have done, but it didn't do them too much harm. Now they're a full 6, they can push in with a Grav almost on deck. So it'll be both Zarias with Grav and Quick with almost a Shatter. So it'll be on NPC to make sure he blocks that.
NPC and Quick lining up here at the entrance, and it will be the Coalescence committed by Dark Link here, and they will use it to great effect. Oh, finding the pick onto Peachroom, using that bow and arrow so effectively to find those heads and click him as well as he can, and that'll be well enough.
Fantastic use of Coalescence there to enable his DPS to get in there. That Coalescence allows NotPo to get right into the face of the enemy, Ryan and Zarya, and really pressure them down. So really good use of Coalescence there by Dark Link. He used it at the perfect time, and that means they didn't have to use their Grav. Now Ryan is coming in with a Shatter. Both sides with Shatter. It'll be a mind game.
This door's gonna be hard to enter as NPC has something to say about it. The Shatter is blocked. Quick staying alive to see another day. NotPo though teleporting into the backline, and he does have the Death Blossom, but not gonna be finding any kills as the interestingly enough used Deadeye from about 2 feet away. We'll be trading the pick back onto him. The advantage will be here for Minty HIppos as they start to storm this point. Reinhardt at their helm, finding pick after pick. Klaus putting in a lot of damage on this McCree.
Yeah, Klaus really put great damage in, but we've got to give props to Quick as and getting that damage, helping Klaus get that damage in. We still have the Grav on both sides. But we've got Grav Dragons on one side, Grav Reaper on this side. Let's see how this goes.
Oh, but the Grav Dragon committed by Jetpack Cats first, and the kills rain into the feed. Minty HIppos are just going to look to hold on to this point as best they can. Take a little bit more bonus percentage and get the heck out of there. Tafmos, the last man left, boostioing his way out of there as fast as he can.
Run, Lucio, run.
Okay. He's kind of a little bit over your position. Okay,
Yeah,
no, he's alright.
Jetpack Cats did a really good job.
Alright, I guess it's my turn to solo cast. Ziva seeming to cut out their NPC set up on the right side here of the point. The Coalescence committed. Dark Link, though, will be using the Coalescence to try and peel for him, but the Death Blossom is massive. Maxi, though, finding 2 with this Coalescence into the Graviton Surge is absolutely massive, finding a 3rd one onto O. And that point turned very quickly around, back in favor of Minty HIppos.
Discord boosted, by the way.
Alright.
My apologies for that. I mean, they basically did the same thing that Jetpack Cats did, is come in aggressively with their Grav DPS combo. Oh, great block there by Michelin Man.
NPC does find the block onto the Shatter of Quick, I believe.
Well, it was Michelin Man, actually.
Oh, Michelin Man using the bubble. Hold on to that one. Quick, though, will be the man of the hour to block this one. NPC goes in, does not find anything there. As the charges go both ways, the beat is dropped, however, for the side of Minty HIppos. They're backing up on this point. They're getting forced further and further. But Oh and NotPo in the back line. It will be Oh, though, going down. No more Hanzo left alive unless Cinnamon does find this res. He does manage to find it as the kills go down on the point. The Death Blossom and the Coalescence committed by Jetpack Cats, and they will be turning this one over. Their Grav and Dragon both still up.
Spicy ult there from NotPo, catching 2 and allowing his team to push in and get the final picks. We do indeed have Grav Dragons for last fight. I think they need to use this aggressively here before the other team can even get closer to the point. I think that's the best way to use it.
Using Michelin Man and the doorway, the Quick. What? He misses the point. He charges past it. The Grav Dragon lands on his team, and he won't be able to touch in time. He gets picked off by NotPo, and the only man left alive on point will be going down. Up 1-0 Nepal, heading in Jetpack Cat's favor.
Great use of that Grav Dragon again, just waiting for the team to get into the doorway, because they have to come together to get through that doorway, and that's when you're guaranteed to get at least 3 people, which is exactly what you want. And so they got the pick on the 3 on Zarya, and not Ryan, but yeah, it was great use of their ults early on, aggressive, and we love to see it.
You know, I think one of the best parts about tonight is how much Ryan Zarya we've gotten to see. It's been incredible, and Nepal Shrine going to be another map we get to see more of it on. Both these teams still locking in the Ryan Zarya so far in show. Going to be locking in a Pharah of his own. Going to be trying to outperform O on the Hanzo here and show him how it's done with the splash damage.
Yeah, these last two maps, this map and the map before, are really great Ryan Zarya maps, so we're happy to see them on it. It's going to be, again, a just quick NPC to make sure they're blocking their shatters.
Alright, quick NPC lining up center of the point. Oh, putting in lots of damage on Hanzo, but not going to be finding any picks. The bubble is used aggressively. Quick finding a lot of ult charge, and the swing comes in, but Klaus picking off NPC. Will be huge. The damage coming in from Show will be massive onto the backline as they're forced down these stairs, and the point in control of Minty Hippos. Notpo trying to find something with the Reaper, but they're just going to back right off.
Jetpack Cats did a really good job at pushing it aggressively, but together, which is exactly what you want to do when you're playing this Ryan Zarya with Hanzo. Just have Hanzo running in damage as you... Oh, just JK! I meant Minty Hippos, my bad. But either way, that point stance is exactly what they did, is play together and aggressive.
A quick engage on a point. Coalescence is traded, but backing up is NPC, allowing Quick to have the point just a little bit longer. But the Reaper goes down. Napo going down Darklink. The main heals as well out of the game, and that'll be 3 picks going the way of Minty Hippos as Jetpack Cats just working their way out of this one.
Perfect use of Coalescence there to be aggressive. Coalescence is an ult you want to use a lot, kind of on cooldown almost, and that's exactly what they did. Have it up and use it aggressively to keep your point. So at this point, it'll be, you have Grav and Ryan on almost on both sides, but Minty Hippo seems to have the ult economy here.
And Minty Hippo's looking to use this one aggressively here. As the High Noon is dropped, and the Dragon right on top of him, finding the pick onto Tastimus, but not onto the McCree. As the charges are traded, the Shatter goes down, finds 3, will be NPC, but the Resurrect comes in from Cinnamon, and that'll be a point turned all the way back around in favor of Jetpack Cats.
Huge shatter there from NBC. He was patient, waited for Quick to use his, and then returned his own shatter, taking down 2 with a Fire Strike. Really, really great job. That was great Reinhardt play, and great support from Cinnamon there with the Valve.
All right, now we do see Minty Hippos lining up. They have their own Space Jam combo of their own, but it will be countered. The grab used immediately. The beat dropped for Minty Hippos. They're going to look to re-engage here with their Graviton if they need it, but the punch is coming in quick, finding the pin onto O. And NPC left alive on this point to his own device, but Notpo coming up huge, finding 1, 2, 3 with the Death Blossom. Could turn this point around entirely for the side of Jetpack Cats.
Notpo popping off there because Lucio had to use his ult to keep the entire team alive when the grab was put down. The Notpo was aware of that and waited for that to come out before using his own ult, getting 3, even 4 picks. A fantastic job from that team. Now, Minty Hippos needs to come in aggressively with their ult. They need to stop waiting. Just like
they find 1 with the Graviton, but it'll only be Reinhardt, and the Meteor Strike is blocked by NPC's shield. And now all of a sudden, though, still the kills are going in favor of Minty Hippos. The Coalescence committed, looking to close out this fight, and it looks like the kill feed's gonna be all blue.
That's exactly what they wanted to do there. They had Grab, they had Coalescence, and despite not getting a lot with Grab, it still allowed them to push forward with that Coalescence. So great use of ults there to get back control of the point. Now, Jetpack Cat needs to be doing the same, hopefully landing a Shatter and a Hanzo ult, and using Valk to engage.
Now we do see Michelin Man ahead of Tastimus in Ultimate Charge. That means the Sound Barrier will not be up for Minty Hippos when the Graviton Surge is committed here. As they look to work their way around the left point, Jetpack Cats are going to want to just charge up his own, but NPC finding 1 on the back like Tastimus going down. Now there's definitely not going to be a Sound Barrier for it, as the Dragon follows up, finding 1 onto Quick, and Jetpack Cats making a statement, taking this point back instantly. Alright, P-Shroom the last man, and he's gone.
NPC did a great job coming on that left side, a little bit sneaky, landing a Shatter on 2 or 1, and then pinning the Lucio, which was huge because that stopped him from getting more ult charge, stopped him from protecting his team. It was a great use of ults by Jetpack Cats. It'll be interesting to see. They've got Grab on the side of Jetpack Cats. I think they need to be using this the same way they did last round. a little aggressively, waiting for the team to come in.
Now we see Notpo on interesting flank, and now his race form used up as the Reinhardt's both coming in, setting up their shields. Michelin Man with the Graviton Surge, he will be able to swing into it. NPC looking to find something, but he won't. The bubble saving his life. Klaus though will be finding the pick on pardon me, the Blossom committed by Notpo, and the Meteor Strike will be coming out from Showstone, though rezzing. Oh, that Hanzo, it's his time to shine. Klaus around the backside of the point, looking to find something. Show though will be picking off Cinnamon. NPC trading back onto Tap Mouse, and the kill is going both ways in the feed. Show back onto O in this fight, looking dead even on the point. 3 versus 3. The Coalescence committed from Darkling on the Show. We're finding the pick, and it looks like Jetpack has left the last say on this point. Maxi trying to stay alive just as long as he can. Pishram desperately trying to grasp onto life, but Jetpack Cats picking up Nepal 2-0. Taking it to match point, 3-2 Jetpack Cats.
What a comeback from Jetpack Cats. I mean, MPZ has had such a positive impact on this team, both mentally, but also just landing these fat shatters. Props to Show as well, though, for popping off on that last map. Really made a valiant attempt there. Got 4 picks, I think. It was Show NPC. It was really great job on both sides, though. Jetpack Cats just showed a little bit more coordination and used their ults a little bit more correctly, I think.
And we saw a lot of interesting things on that Nepal map, but I'm sure our desk analyst over here, JStar, has something a little bit more for us to break down. Anything you want to add, JStar?
The tank play was absolutely phenomenal from both sides. Both tanks had some very big plays coming in from both sides. NPC with some clutch shatters, quick, absolutely shutting down a few of those shatters. But the man that we cannot, the unsung hero that had to be Notpo. Well, not really unsung, but the hero that had to be Notpo. Notpo decided that he did not want to lose and that he was going to do whatever he could on that Reaper to make sure that they do. And it honestly paid dividends. Minty Hippos had no counter for Poe whatsoever. They tried to run the McCree, but that McCree could not do a single thing against it.
Yeah, it really felt like they were really trying to focus down O in the beginning of that match, but every time they do that, Notpo would be on the other end of the point, absolutely shredding through people on the McCree or the Reaper. He was putting in absolute work on this team. As they take Minty Hippos into map point, it will be Volskaya Industries chosen by the blue side team as they swap Dallas back in for Taftimus off of that Lucio. It will be a support swap for Minty Hippos. What do you think this means for them, Ziva? All right, JStar.
So, Minty Hippos bringing in another support, honestly, might just be because one of their supports is a little drained after playing some maps, but it honestly could be because of a comp that they want to run. And I know that the defensive side of Volskaya is a lot centered around Orisa Sigma, but on the attack side, though, and I think Jetpack Cats will honestly run their own Zar on this attack, but I would not be surprised if we saw a Pharmacy maybe brought out, or if we see continue to run that Hanzo.
All right, and we're setting up for this map. Like you mentioned, some Bastion we played here, some more of that Hanzo from O that's been absolutely huge coming into this 19 seconds till we get to see these team comps. I'd love to see some cheeky Symmetra plays around the backside, but you know, a caster can only dream for so much. But is there any interesting comps that you think we might see from them other than just playing the comfort picks that we've seen them on for most of the night?
You know, we could see a Bastion come out here. I know that first point Bastion, there's a few ways you could do it, and yep, right as I say that, the Minty Hippos bring out the Bastion. So at the moment, they have the Bastion, so it'll definitely be interesting to see where they set up and how they hold this.
All right, 30 seconds ticking down. This Bastion comp's gonna be real hard to break, but I think Notpo and O can land in a lot of splash damage here. And one of the biggest things I think we've seen, we saw a few Bastion comps run without Mercies, and Dallas Home here subbing in for Taftimus, maybe just to play that Mercy so they can play this Bastion here. But I've been a little bit let down by the Bastion play from Minty Hippos, and I'd love to see them really improve it here, focus on their rotations, and focus on really identifying where the threats are coming from on the side of Jetpack Cats.
Yeah, absolutely. Once again, the rotations were not that strong for Minty Hippos on Gibraltar with the Bastion, but maybe they can clean it up here and straighten things out.
All right, pushing in behind him. It will be Jetpack Cats with that Reinhardt NPC. Man of the hour for Jetpack Cats coming in absolutely clutch. They're raining in on this Bastion. They're forcing him into the back room. The rotation is correct, though, for Minty Hippos, but it's not going to be soon enough. The shield not coming down in time. Cross going down. Another pick on the quick. Pichroom immediately pushing into the room of the Rhine, dishing out so much damage. Pichroom trying to hold on the point for just a little bit more time, but it looks like all the kills are going in favor of Jetpack Cats. The Bastion comp absolutely dismantled.
Yeah, once again, the rotations from the side of Minty Hippos wasn't that clean. So I was not surprised to see Napo on the fire just catch them out in the rotation and ultimately lead them to win that fight.
And Napo coming into this fight with the barrage, there's so many opportunities for him to use it. And the question is, will they be able to transfer this ultimate economy advantage into a quick B-take? How do they need to do it?
If I was Napo right now, I'd try to get behind them, force out any cooldowns that they might have, try to force the lamp, but right as I said, that barrage does come out. Does find nobody.
As nobody immediately shielded, immediately blocked, and he goes down quicker than you can say. Barrage wasted, and that's the fight for Minty Hippos.
Yeah, so Jetpack Cats tried to play around that far ultimate, but they didn't do it correctly. They should have played it a bit slower, tried to bait out some key abilities like the Baptiste Immortality Field. But in not doing that, they were able, Minty Hippos were able to reset up and get the counter picks that they needed and pretty much shut down the far ultimate.
Yeah, the far as well. Going directly through main, there's a couple flank routes you can actually take on this map. Around the left and the right side, they're maybe a bit sneakier and a little bit less easy to spot out and prepare for. But it looks like we do see a swap off of the far, I believe. And it will be Notpo swapping onto a Reaper, which we saw him pop off on it last map. Let's see if we can do it again. NPC lining up on this Reinhardt, and ultimate up at about 85%. Odo does have one of his seemingly signature dragons lined up to try and take this point, but they're just going to back out and seemingly just try to reset this one. But if you haven't noticed, they've established O in the backline here. They've sneakily got him in there in the pick. Goes down onto Maxi. They're going to look to engage onto this one. As the Mercy comes back from spawn, they need to do it fast. They need to do it before Maxi gets the respawn in. But it looks like Show's going to try and pressure O out of this backline. O barely staying alive with help from his teammate Notpo going to help him. The Coalescence is both. Drop the Valkyrie, the Dragon, committed. P-Shrooms, Whole Hog looks to go down in the invulnerability field, keeping alive just a little bit longer, but Michelin Man dishing out so much damage on this point. The point starting to tick down, and the teammates are dying left and right. Show taking out the Death Blossom, finding no value at all. The point ticks up one tick, looking for two here. On the Tracer will be Klaus, looking to touch this point as much as they can. The Baldo from Quick, keeping it alive just a little bit longer. The Slam coming in, the shields keeping it alive. And the damage from the Zarya looks like it should be enough to take him out, just enough. But nobody's going down. Napo takes out Pichu with the Death Blossom though. Show, he's in the race for him to keep the point alive for just a little bit longer. NPC swinging like an absolute madman. Dallas Army looking for something, but the Graviton Surge keeping him off the point. And that will be the third point taken. 3 minutes and 25 seconds left in the time bank for Jetpack Cats.
That was an absolutely perfectly played push. O needed to get into the backline, take those flank angles, which he did, and he was able to get some very key picks, which ultimately led for Jetpack Cats and enabled them to push into the point. Now, from the side of Hippos, they need to be more wary of that, because he's going to continue to abuse it if they don't address it.
Yeah, and honestly, it's going to be a hard time to beat. 3 minutes and 25 seconds, and even without a immediate push after their first point take, Jetpack Cats really came out swinging and made the most of getting into that far back position behind the supports, finding that pick. It absolutely tore Minty Hippos apart, and they really need to focus on playing together and having that awareness of where O is at all times, because those flank routes with that Hanzo can be so incredibly devastating.
Absolutely. O is playing that Hanzo to perfection right now, and if Minty Hippos does not address this, it's not looking bright for them. They need to, in all honesty, just focus on having somebody dedicated for the flank angles, whether it be your other DPS or whether it being a support like a Baptiste or a Moira, because both those healers are very good in the 1v1s, but they are not taking care of the flanks right now.
All right. And it was apparently supposed to be hybrid, but we missed out on that one. It looks like, though, I think we're just going to play this map out. Looks like what is going to happen. I think that's confirmed. I don't think we'll see a forfeit or anything come in.
So this attack is starting off kind of interesting. They just both sides are just trying to take the poke battle. Interesting attack bastion coming out. This Ooh picked up the first pick on the show. The res will be coming out as shows get res by Dallas Homer.
Jetpack Cats lining themselves up nicely here on the point. The Orisa Sigma, the neutral fight's gonna be so important here. Who can burn out the most resources first? Show taking out Michelin Man. That's a great way to start if you're Minty Hippos. The rest forced out, Napo trading back on the show. This neutral fight lasting so long. Klaus, though, such a danger on this bastion. The dynamite comes in, but Napo traded back onto, giving his life for the fire. Klaus pushing in behind his Orisa, just trying to get something, but oh, raining in damage. The invulnerability field, when will it be used? The window goes down as the damage starts to rain in. Klaus establishing himself, but the dragon again charged up so quickly. The invulnerability field used to keep him alive just a little bit longer, but quick out of position here on this Sigma. Show raining in damage from the sky. Dallas Homer just trying to help him out a little bit more. Klaus needs to get into position on this point if they want to take it. Establishes himself. The Bob committed. Klaus, where is he going to set up? He's stuck in a recon mode in the corner of this point. He gets shredded down by Napo. Will he go down? No, he gets 200 health. The configuration take. Committed. Looking for the kill. On to not. The Bob just rains down onto Minty Hippos, but they still have control at this point. They're stuck in that room. The invulnerability field keeping them alive against that Bob, and it will be enough. The first point taken. 2 minutes and 18 seconds left on the clock.
You know, the best way to make sure O doesn't do anything is just completely kill his team. And that's exactly what Minty Hippos did, and they just pressed their advantage. Once they figured out what O was trying to do, they just shredded through barriers and pressed the advantage that they had, and which ultimately led them to getting that point.
Now the second point is going to be a little bit tougher for the Bastion to establish himself on, especially if you're P-Shroom and you're missing the ride up on the elevator, like we just saw. And it will be quick getting pulled down. That's a little bit of a big mistake from the side of Minty Hippos. And he's going to be forced to drop here. The entire team with him. The window comes down. The shields shredded through immediately. And Jetpack Cats are just going to back up around this corner and wait it out. Although NPC does go down to the window. The kills start to come in. The red does come up. Klaus, though, still raining in damage. The Gravitic Flux going to be helping Show find the pick onto O. It's real hard to pronounce. The Bob also committed on the center of the point. Show trading on the NPC. Darklink taking a P-Shroom. No main tanks left alive. Darklink will be using that Coalescence, though, to take out the other tank for the side of Minty Hippo. Show trading back on an Opera. No DPS alive for, I believe, the side of Jetpack Cats is the point. Awkwardly taking down Maxi on the point. Gets one tick. Show and Maxi left alive here, but it looks like they're just going to get picked off. Jetpack Cats stop the bleeding.
Yeah, this new Baptiste buff really was shown up by Maxi on the Baptiste, showing that what the damage potential could be for this Baptiste. And don't get me wrong, Klaus had some was able to burn through the shields of Jetpack Cats, which honestly should have been a fight win. But now we will reset as we get ready for fight number 2, and we will see the ultimate advantage for the side of the Minty Hippos stuff.
Looking to line himself back in the middle. This time he does have the configuration tank that will help them move on its point maybe a little bit more efficiently as the shields slowly move forward. The Bongo is committed. The shield of NPC is shredded through, as is his body. The red looks to come through for Cinnamon, but the Halt denies it! A massive hold out of P-Shroom, and they look to take this point. They're looking to end it here. Looking to end with a similar time bank. Cinnamon, the last man to go down, 2:58 on the clock. They need these ticks to come in. 3, 2, 1, and that is it. The point closed out. 2 minutes and 54 seconds on the clock to the 3 minutes and 25 seconds of the Jetpack Cats.
That Bongo from Quick was absolutely huge, pumping out so much damage for Klaus on the Bastion. That Bongo ultimate was the damage that they needed in order to shred through whatever Jetpack Cats were trying to pull out, and ultimately led them getting that fight win.
What type of changes do you think these teams need to make going into these second rounds of attacks and defense? We didn't see strong defenses from either side, and I believe Minty Hippos decided to run a Bastion, and they're not getting too much value out of it. O has been so effective on this Hanzo at absolutely taking apart these Bastion comps. What do you think Minty Hippos need to look to run here? What do they need to change about this Bastion comp? Because it looks like they want to stick to it.
They honestly, if they want to run a Bastion with success on this map, they need to bring out the Symmetra. The Symmetra adds so much viability for helping a team that's not too strong at the rotations. As we've seen from Minty Hippos, the rotations just haven't been there. So you set up a TP from one high ground to another, or one high ground into the Mega Room, and it just adds it just adds to the need of having to rotate. Just takes it completely out.
Yeah, and again, Minty Hippos haven't been super effective at defending, but all the same, about 3 minutes left in their own attack. What do you think Jetpack Cats need to look to change? Because they're running almost the exact same comp. However, they do swap on to Orion Zarya to try and counter this Bastion, maybe a little bit more of an aggressive and hammer-swinging fashion.
As long as Minty Hippos are running that Bastion, the Reinhardt Zarya is not the call here. They need to be running the double. They need to be running the double barrier with the Sigma and Orisa in order to get that barrier presence. And the Sigma kinetic grasp is so big and denying so much damage from the Bastion.
And Show finding the pick onto O is not the way the Jetpack Cats wanted to start this point. They're forced back this far, and all of a sudden has almost free range and taking out Napo. That's the last DPS left alive for Jetpack Cats. That's not what you want. Show directly on top of him, still getting all the kills, rolling in the kill feed. And now Klaus to back him up, finding 2 more. This point looks like it's going to be going in favor of Minty Hippos.
Definitely. Klaus just said, "I'm going to put this fight on my back," and along with Show, they are unstoppable right now. They've been raining out so much damage in these last 2 team fights, which ultimately have led them to capture these last 2 points, along with the damage boost and a few other factors have ultimately led to where we are now.
Now this game started out as a close match between 2 teams directly by one another in the standings, and it's become something of a really incredible match after a 5v6 and maps turning seemingly all the way around for Jetpack Cats. It's up to them to hold this last one. Klaus set up on the high ground. This time no halts to pull him off, but the hack does go down.
Yeah, this Sombra switch is actually going to be pretty big because all Napo has to do is harass the Bastion to a point where either he can never set up or to a point where he will ultimately just switch off. But from the side of Jetpack Cats, so they are lacking a little bit of damage.
Napo finds the hack onto the Baptiste of Minty Hippos, but no kills yet in the kill. The invulnerability kill forced out, but the massive shatter finds 4! NPC coming up huge for his team. Show trying to do something about it, but not going to be finding any of the kills. And Dallas Homer is desperately just trying to hold on to life here. Getting up the point will be taken out by O on the McCree.
That's the unfortunate reality of losing a Sigma very early in the fight. Once if you're running a Reinhardt against an Orisa, all you really have to do is push past the barrier and press Q, and that's usually team fight over. And that's exactly what NPC did, and that's what secured them that team fight.
What do you think they really need to do coming into this next fight? This is the same configuration tank that we saw break the point last time, and we saw it break it into a Reinhardt, but they're going to be lacking that window that they used last time to find that critical pick on NPC that they used to break the point.
Definitely. If I was the side of Minty Hippos right now, I'd try to get a flank barrage off. Try to send your far around the side and get a pick. Oh, that's all you really need for a Bastion. Once the Bastion is able to set up, then it's over.
Oh, though, above Klaus, will be taking out the invulnerability field, will be starting to put damage down. NPC looks for a shot. Her charge doesn't find anything. His shield will start to go down. Klaus shredding through this Reinhardt as Minty Hippos establish themselves on point, finding 3 kills going their way. NPC looking for something. He needs to kill this Bastion. The pin goes, and it doesn't find anything. Napo will be the last man to have to say on this point. The barrage goes down, 6.9 seconds. No overtime, and Minty Hippos take the second point.
That was a very, very convincing second point. That last fight was very convincing for the side of Minty Hippos. They did everything that they needed to do. They got that first pick. They completely shut down that Sombra. And honestly, that without the hack, they were pretty much defenseless in whenever they wanted to try to do.
Yes, and this is going to be their playoff hopes on the line here, especially for both of these teams. But Jetpack Cats really need to cling on to this one. They don't want this to go to a 7th map. But boy, do they have a task ahead of them. With 3 minutes and 25 seconds in the bank, they need to take both points of Volskaya. They don't want an overtime. They don't want to draw this map. They want it to end here. What do they need to do it?
Once again, the Minty Hippos are bringing out that Bastion. Once again, I'm going to stick with what I said before. They need to run that double shield. They need to get Michelin Man on that Sigma in order to deny that damage that will be coming in. But once we are seeing the pharmacy from Show and Dallas Homer. So if they do decide to run that double shield, it's going to be a pick your poison type thing. If they want to deny the Bastion damage or if they want to deny the Pharah damage.
I think the Reinhardt on attack, although it is exactly what they did before. They pushed in that back room, pushed the Bastion off of the high ground, and forced him into a weaker position inside of the Mega Room, and Peachroom wasn't able to get his shield up in time to save him before Notpo was able to absolutely rain down damage on the Pharah. And we'll see if they want to attack it in a similar fashion this time.
Absolutely. And from the looks of it, it's looking like a very similar start.
Fight starting. NPC working his way around the left side of the attacking end of the point. And they're going to want to push this room in a similar fashion, but this time taking it a little bit earlier. Getting that shield. Oh, but the Orisa shield actually a little bit bad here. Forced a little bit further out on the point than maybe they would have liked. This fire damage is going to start to come in. Notpo has a free reign, laying down this splash damage, and the shield forced further back, but the point ticks down in favor of Jetpack Cats, but NPC getting absolutely shredded. The window goes up and NPC goes down. Klaus closing out this point. Notpo still alive, finding some kills, and the spawns will have the advantage for Jetpack Cats. They turn this fight around. Klaus still left alive, going to be shredding through the people on point, and no ticks for Jetpack Cats.
So it really, Maxi's ultimate really was what was able to make them come back in that fight. Just so much of the raw DPS output came out from Klaus and was just able to rain down, and that's what turned the tables in that fight.
And Notpo coming up on a barrage here could be absolutely key. Where do you think he wants to attack from here?
If I was Notpo, I would just kind of stick up on the where he's at now, play around that left side building where the Mega is, try to maybe go around the back side and get a flank barrage off.
He's going all the way. He's going all the way. Do they know?
Thanks for the assist.
Do they know?
do not-
They spot him out. He's
found
forced out. Although the point starts to tick down. Michelin Man on the corner of the point, just trying to stay alive. Uses his bubble on himself, but the configuration tank will start to rain down damage. NPC holding onto this point, looking at one tick, but Show contesting on his own, trying to find some angle for the barrage. Michelin Man, though, last alive on the point. 1 minute 30 seconds left in the time bank. They need to start on this point A.
Definitely, they need to use the ultimates that they have. This is coming down to last fight time, so it's crunch time. They need to use whatever they have. Michelin Man coming up on that grab. They already have the rocket barrage. They already have the dragon. They already have the coalescence, and they have the Valkyrie. And with NPC almost with the shatter, it's looking like a full team lineup for ultimates from the side of Jetpack Cats.
This is going to be their best opportunity they've had yet, but this Bastion has proven harder to break than ever. Klaus set up on the corner of this point, even without an Orisa shield sitting on the high ground with him. Peachroom going to be replacing it, and the point starts to tick down. Quick, the first minute drop, not going to be denying any percentage. First tick almost in. Show using that barrage. He finds one, but Notpo finds two. Anything you can do, I can do better, he says, as this point starts to tick over for Jetpack Cats just in time.
Yeah, something that Minty HIppos did better the first time was trying to spot check for the Pharah. They completely let him just come in and pop his ult on command, and without really denying him the angle, that's what won them the fight.
And now all of a sudden they have a grab and a shatter going into point B. 46 seconds. If they win it directly on this push, they could end with a better time bank. They don't want this to go to overtime yet again. Playoff hopes on the line for both of these teams. They don't want to go to map 7, but it doesn't matter because Klaus is going to be shredding through people on this Bastion and stopping this push in its tracks. 30 seconds. The time is ticking down, the clock waning as they just look to find a couple more staggered kills. Cinnamon, though, Cinnamon goes down here. It could be huge for Minty HIppos. Show raining down the damage, and it's not going to be found. Forced to back up, and the pick goes right back onto Show.
So Jetpack Cats need to come in with everything they have. They just need to get both that grab and the shatter out there. It doesn't matter if you can combo them. You just need to get them out there and hope for the best. Hope your team can follow them.
Oh, but a massive kill! The grab goes down, but so does Zarya, and the Gravitic Flux will be available for the side of Minty HIppos here. Will they be able to close at the point? The uppercut comes onto Dark Link. The main heal is down. Quick fighting onto Nut. Klaus trading back onto Owen. It looks like that will be all she wrote. We are going to a map number 7.
Man, this game is definitely what we expected it to be and more. Minty HIppos finally being able to run that Bastion with some success, finally figuring out the rotations that they needed to do, and ultimately paying off in the end. Klaus playing a huge Bastion, Notpo pulling some big plays out on the Pharah for Jetpack Cats, but in the end it was HIppos that came out supreme because they were able to finally get those rotations down.
You see in that play of the game, it was just enough to break that first point, but it wasn't quite enough to break the map. Going to map 7, it will be Jetpack Cat's pick, and interestingly enough, I feel like we've seen these teams win more on each other's picks than on their own, so it'll be interesting to see what Jetpack Cats decide to do here. As they do decide to go to Hollywood, it will be a hybrid map next. But real quick, while we do have the time, we do have Ziva back on the desk. Anything you want to add about that last point?
Well, we always love to see it go to the final map. That's when the games usually are the best. Both teams have all of it to win or lose, especially when it comes to getting into the playoffs. So I think we'll see some very good Overwatch play, just as we saw this past map. I mean, that was really a close game. Clutch plays from both teams. Really, really impressive ult use. I thought it was fantastic to watch. I was on the edge of my seat there. And so was, I think, the entirety of chat. So I think it'll be interesting to see how this goes. We're going to hybrid, right?
Yeah, we're going to Hollywood.
We're going to Hollywood. All right, so that's an interesting. I can see a lot. We've seen the Bastion a few times. I think Bastion is pretty strong in Hollywood, both defense and attack. Well, maybe not the first point attack, but once you've got the payload. So I'm probably gonna. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Klaus on Bastion again. NPC has been so strong on that Rhine. Shroom doing a really good job as a Risa against Rhine. That's not always the easiest matchup, and Shroom is really just doing a fantastic job there. Showing a pretty good Pharah as well, but doing a good job at shutting him down. Overall, both teams just had this kind of back and forth, doing a really good job at shutting the enemy team down. So really excited to see what's coming in for this map 7.
All right, team's asking for a 2-minute break, but this series has been absolutely back and forth, back and forth. We saw the first 2 maps go down to Minty Hippos. If you weren't watching, Jetpack Cats having to play a 5-man Volskaya match. They had one player disconnected, but NPC coming to the rescue for a map 3, letting them turn it around, take it up 3-2, nearly getting the reverse onto Minty Hippos. But Minty Hippos all of a sudden striking back on Volskaya leads us to a map number 7, a very exciting first match for our first map, or for our first match of playoffs. And it's everything we could be asking leading into these Harmony tier play-ins. These teams looking thirsty for blood.
Yeah, definitely. Both these teams are coming in hungry. I know that this is what Overwatch Tranquility is about. It's coming in clutch at the final moments, and we are definitely seeing this. Map 7 can't get any more big than this.
All right, Hollywood, like we mentioned, we can play some of these Bastions on defense, but on the attack, it starts to fall off a lot. And I think Minty Hippos are going to be forced onto a couple things that they're maybe not as comfortable on. And all of those things are going to have to play against O, the man of the night who's been absolutely popping off for Jetpack Cats. He's been such a threat. And when Minty Hippos stop running this Bastion comp that they seem so comfortable on, the question is, will they be able to deal with him in another way?
Welcome to Hollywood.
You know, Bastion is so strong on point number 1 that I expect Minty Hippos to try to run that. But on the attack phase, if they can't figure out a way to deal with O on the Hanzo, it won't matter. He's just been taking the off angles and just flanking to perfection right now. And without really anybody trying to check for him, he's going uncontested and just getting free damage in.
Yes, sir. And I think a lot of the pace of this map will be set by how well Minty Hippos is able to defend. They have the opportunity to go for the Bastion. The question is, do they? With 9 seconds left on the clock here, I'm really interested to see whether or not they'll run the Bastion and whether or not Jetpack Cats will fire back with that Reinhardt yet again.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, but from the looks of it, they will be running that Reinhardt. So against the Bastion, all they really need to do is just line of sight it. A little different from what I said on Volskaya, but Volskaya is a little more open than Hollywood. All Jetpack Cats need to do is play underneath the Bastion, play on point, and force a bad rotation out from the side of Minty Hippos. And once they force that bad rotation, that's when they pounce.
Yes, Hollywood actually, one of the interesting things with running a Pharah on Hollywood is it has a deceptively low skybox. We have all these high rooftops. The skybox doesn't end but a few meters above them. Pharah barely able to clear a lot of these buildings. So that aerial advantage that we see on a lot of these maps isn't quite exactly the same for Hollywood. And it's going to offer Klaus a few more angles to really watch for this Pharah from.
Definitely. The Pharah pick is going to allow Klaus to burn down the barriers, focus more on killing the tanks, while Show is just able to focus down on taking out the healers instead of having Klaus to do everything. But we do see an interesting pick though with the Sombra. Because probably the Sombra will just try to annoy that Bastion and maybe try to get him to swap play for the EMP.
Oh, lines up here in the backline, gonna be looking for a halt, but he gets caught out. Klaus turning around to try and find some damage onto him, but it will be NPC and the rest of the Jetpack Cats gang working their way around this point, trying to find something. The halt goes down, and she's forced to use her translocator. The damage just rains down show, finding a little bit of comfortable damage from over top of these buildings. Neither team really ready to fully commit here until that Sombra's in place.
Right, and this Sombra positioning is going to be so big on the side from the Jetpack Cats, because once that Sombra is able to get a hack off...
Oh, they work their way beneath though. Quick force to drop, but little do they realize there's an entire team beneath them quick on the point, and their team is split 3 and 3. The invulnerability field will be there to keep Klaus alive for just a little bit longer, but the shield goes down for NPC. Klaus left alive on the high ground to start shredding through, working his way through the rest of this Jetpack Cats roster, but Napo turning up absolutely huge on the show in Dallas Hammer. Klaus still alive. The invulnerability field offering him so much protection, and he will be starting to shred through. Napo will be able to find the kill onto Klaus. He gets the right click, but Klaus still alive, eating Fire Strike, Coalescence, and everything from Jetpack Cats, but they do manage to take the point after trying for so long.
That's exactly what I said they had to do. Napo got the 2 huge picks onto the pharmacy, ultimately shut them down, and made that fight a 4v6. And once that fight was a 4v6, it allowed O to go in and get the hack off onto Klaus, and it was just smooth sailing there from Jetpack Cats.
I love how Jetpack Cats are starting to slow this game down. They initially, when they ran into the Bastion, they were trying to play so fast into him. They were running in. NPC's shield is going down constantly, but now they're starting to go slowly and methodically and take breaks inside of rooms, let NPC's shield come up, let certain cooldowns come up, let the flashbang come up for Napo. And stuff like that is what's really allowing them to take out this Bastion, and it will be Show going down, but Dallas Homer with the res to me to pick it back up.
Maxi coming out with a big pick on O as well. This Sombra EMP is going to be what will ultimately win them the fight. What they will be comboed with, I am not sure.
Oh, but a big barrage from Show, picking up Darkling and NPC, sending them right back where they came from, and it will be the reset forced out from Jetpack Cats.
You know, the ultimate there is no team with a real ultimate advantage right now.
Oh my goodness. Wait, Napo and Show are just going at it here on this left side. The stagger could be huge, and it does. It goes down onto O. That's going to be another 10 seconds or so.
That stagger is really big from the side of Minty Hippos because, but the res does come out, so that will take away that stagger time. But his EMP is going to be what will ultimately win the fight.
5 ultimates up, 5 ultimates down as teammates start dropping for Minty Hippos. The EMP shatter followed up with the Deadeye. 2 ultimates left in the bank for Jetpack Cats. And all of a sudden, this is looking really good for a second point.
Ooh, and Dallas Homer did pop his Valkyrie. Not sure if that was a misplay or not, but that ultimate could be a huge mistake from the side of Jetpack Cats. Or, I'm sorry, Minty Hippos.
I don't mind it too much that, pardon me, that high noon is going to be maybe important. However, he lands the flash on the back line, and the Gravitic Flex comes in and lands onto NPC. NPC picked up, not quite that half health threshold yet. He starts to swing onto the far, and he will be going down, though. The majority of the kills going down in the kill feed for Jetpack Cats. Napo absolutely fragging out on this point. Kill for kill for kill, dealing so much damage in that fight.
That Gravitic Flux, honestly, if Quick would have gotten that a little more over to the left and a little more centered, that would have gotten a lot more people than just NPC. And with just getting the main tank in it, that was not enough for what Minty Hippos needed to secure the fight. And we still see Michelin Man holding onto that grab.
I love how aggressively Jetpack Cats are positioning themselves. They don't want to have to hold this corner. Against the side of Minty Hippos, the flashbang does go down on NPC. Taken quite low, but it's not going to be enough to take him out. He just wants to assert himself around this corner so they can't hold further. It comes in. Oh, the Deadeye not going to be finding anybody. NPC gets stunned up the invulnerability field, keeping absolutely everybody alive. Klaus finding the pick on Napo, who's been so key for Jetpack Cats, and it will be NPC and Cinnamon going down in return in this fight. Looking all blue. Minty Hippos hold on just a little bit longer.
Maxi has had such clutch ultimates. The window ultimate from the Baptiste is honestly what's been swinging these fights to go Minty Hippos' direction, and the damage output from Minty Hippos can't be responded from the side of Jetpack Cats.
Yeah, I think Show's gonna be looking to deny a lot of this aggression from NPC by playing this 215 and pushing back And Show also just can command a lot of control of this high ground, deny it from the side of Jetpack Cats as NPC looks to approach. And the low ground is so hard into these double shields. This main so restricting. Show working his way in, doesn't find anybody with the pick, but the ultimate is in favor of Jetpack Cats. They use him. The EMP comes through. The Shatter comes through. The Ryan's swinging everywhere. NPC, man of the night for Jetpack Cats, coming in absolutely clutch yet again as they push this point to its very end.
The EMP shatters are what is making the difference in this game. They are Minty Hippos are not doing anything to try to spot check for O, running that Sombra. And if you cannot find that Sombra decloak her, she will just continue to build up her EMPs, get in, get out, be that little mosquito that everybody hates, and it's ultimately winning the fight for Jetpack Cats.
And all things considered, no Flame O, I believe he wasn't building those EMPs especially fast. They got 2 off. They got 1 on the second point and 1 on the third point. However, they were executed so well that they didn't need any more than that. And all of a sudden, Minty Hippos have a tough task ahead of them completing this map with more than 2 minutes and 16 seconds, or even just completing this map against the side that looks absolutely on fire from Jetpack Cats.
Definitely. Once again, NPC coming in huge with following up on the EMPs with his Shatter. Now, NPC, once again, will be on the Reinhardt, and we will not see the Sombra, sadly, but I am still expecting him to perform like he has.
Now, I'm not sure about this one, but Klaus locking in the Bastion. They looked comfortable on the past couple of maps, but they're going to look at the play in on King's Row. So much high ground, though, for O to work his way around and try and get damage onto this Bastion. A lot of the weight, I believe, is going to be on Show to try and deny that high ground, deny that pressure, while still staying away from Notpo and O and their obscene amounts of damage that they've been pumping out soon.
Definitely. I think that the Doomfist pick from Show is going to be more of a harassment pick for NPC. Try to deny him from doing a lot just by punching him out of the way. Allows so much opening for Minty Hippos to take what they need.
Now, NPC, you guys don't see it in game right now, but in match chat, he said, and I quote, "If you want to eat soon, we full hold," and we'd love to see him try and back that quote up with this NPC lined up against the Bastion of Klaus, taking down House Dallas Homer, nearly going down. The high ground given up, but O retaking it, starting to work his way through the shield. Show trying to deny it, does perfectly, knocks him off of it. Klaus gets a little bit more damage down. Oh, force up the high ground, the Hawk comes in, oh, almost dropping, going so low. And Show reestablishing himself on the high ground. And the McCree, though, will be taking him out from Notpo. Maybe a little bit too aggressive for Show. And Klaus still established here, dishing out damage on his Reinhardt, but he's going to have to get a little bit further forward. Oh, but Pishram taken out by NPC, combined with the damage from O's arrows absolutely raining in. And Minty Hippos just need to try to get out.
You know, something that I've been taught when defending, it's not about winning fights, it's just about outlasting your enemy. And that is exactly what Jetpack Cats is doing right now. They're just outlasting Minty Hippos and making Minty Hippos play that aggressive playstyle into them. And outlasting them is what they need to do in order to secure this.
I think this is one of the most unfortunate things, though, is that, yeah, they're going to be swapping off of that Bastion. That Bastion's so hard to play into the first point here. There's so much high ground surrounding every single entrance that you might want to place a Bastion in. And it seems so unfeasible against O, but it doesn't matter if Klaus just takes him out. The res might come in, but no, the high ground's too dangerous. The invulnerability field will force out from the side of Minty Hippos. The window coming through as well. The damage amplified. Show looking for somebody. NPC finds nobody with the Shatter. Gets blocked. Notpo, though, finding one with his Deadeye. Dallas Homer trading right back on the NPC. The Gravitic Flux committed, finds 2. Will they be going down half health? Moira uses her Wraith form to get out. Michelin Man will be hiding behind this cart. The last tank left alive for Jetpack Cats using his bubbles, and the Gravitic Flux gets dropped in. But the invulnerability field keeping him alive. It's so hard to target because behind that shield plays so well. Oh, take it out. Michelin Man, Darkling, last people left alive on the point. Taking out Darkling. Desperately trying to hold on. NPC coming back in, looking for something, anything to hold on this point and follow up with that full point hold that he promised. Nobody's getting to eat their food today. Notpo will be the last man left to touch this point, and it won't come in. Y'all can eat your dinner later.
So something that I found very interesting from that last fight was that I personally think that Jetpack Cats over-ulted that fight. They did not need to use that Graviton Surge because, frankly, Minty Hippos had the spawn advantage. They had people coming back. So once again, the Jetpack Cats will find themselves in a ultimate disadvantage right now.
Now Minty Hippos, again, it's still no small task completing this map with a similar time bank. However, 3 minutes and 36 seconds on the clock. Going to the second point. Oh, lined up on the high ground. We haven't seen him play the scoop this yet, but he looks to engage with it. Looking at the uppercut. He's forced out of the backline. NPC looking for his chance to engage here, but it will be show on him, taking him down to half health. The bubble. Use the coalescence. Committed, and Minty Hippos looks to just back up and ignore this one.
Yeah, that's a smart move of just completely ignoring that coalescence. But we will see the counter coalescence come in, so it'll be interesting to see what goes on there now.
Oh my goodness, but Notpo on the high ground, completely uncontested, raining in damage on this McCree. NPC swinging like a madman, finding 2 with the Shatter. You're gonna be finding 2 more kills, and that fight will be going completely in the favor of Jetpack Cats. 2 minutes and 50 seconds on the clock.
You know, when I saw those first 2 ultimates pop from the side of Minty Hippos, I thought they could easily take it. But Notpo going completely uncontested, running in damage, NPC Shatter, it didn't matter because they just didn't have the resources that they needed to secure that fight.
Oh wait, but the sleep goes down on the mission, and he gets up just in time. Their Night Edge would collapse on him. In time, the rock goes down. NPC forced back. Very close there. That was a huge sleep for Maxi, but they weren't able to follow up on it.
Definitely.
The High Noon committed. The Gravitic Flux goes down. Klauso finally pick on the Michelin Man Maxi onto NPC. And all the kills looking good here. But O has something to say about it. Show finding the pick on a Notpo. Little health left alive for the side of Jetpack Cats, but they can do this. They look to just get out though. The coalescence committed. Finding pick on the quick as a the spawns come in for Jetpack Cats. Just gonna be enough. Pisham though, not done with this fight. The spawn's about even here. Looking like a 3v3 for both sides. 4th man coming in. Michelin Man will be allowing NPC to swing like a madman. Pisham will be committing. The Graviton Surge working through the back line. Smartly finding the mercy of Cinnamon. Pisham laying in the damage on the Reinhardt. And that support pick might have been just what they needed to break this point out wide open.
Pisham did an amazing job at stalling that point out and waiting for his team to follow up, waiting for his team to get back. Not too sure about the grab because they could have comboed it with something else, but still definitely paid off in the long run.
Oh, keep an eye out for Michelin Man though. Michelin Man here on the flank, and he will be just going to back up with his team, looking to use that Graviton Surge to try and hold this point. If the Reinhardt can get there in time, they look like they're not done yet. This point has been an absolute bloodbath. Klaus lining up to find some headshots. He's shooting through the door. He will not let Cinnamon through at any cost. So O lined up on the exact other side of the point, and they're fragging absolutely out. O finds the headshot onto Show. Klaus though trading right back on a Notpo. NPC taking out the main heals though, and the res comes in. This looks like it's going to be it for the push for just a little bit. Minty Hippos looking to reset here. Klaus versus O, and O takes the better of him. That's going to be a massive stagger, and Jetpack Cats could look to extend their lead here.
This is definitely last fight territory for the side of Minty Hippos. They need to use everything that they have in order to try to secure this fight because it's win or go home at this point for them.
Darkly committing the coalescence. They're looking to end this one early. They're looking to end it with 20 seconds left in the bank. Minty Hippos need to find something here. I bet it's probably going to be a ball swap here if they can get it through fast enough.
No, we don't see any swaps.
Are they just...
It's crunch time. Like I said, they need to use everything they have this fight. We will see Maxi switching over to Lucio, though. Try to get them back to point.
The High Noon committed. He engages onto the McCree, but he goes down immediately and doesn't touch the court. And that's it. No overtime. Jetpack Cats take it in a 7th map. Completely running it back against Minty Hippos. Going down a player, going down 2 maps. It doesn't matter. Jetpack Cats proceed on in the play-ins.
Man, this was such a back and forth series. A lot of drama. Nail biter of a series. Everything that we wanted plus more. Jetpack Cat starting up to the shaky start with Showroom not being able to actually play. But NPC coming in so clutch for the side of Jetpack Cats.
Yes, and of course, this is only the first game of our Season 3 Harmony playoffs. We have much more in store for you guys. And again, tomorrow, of all things, an unusual little bit of a Wednesday broadcast. We will be coming back at you. It will be me, Door, Ski Free Yeti on the Analyst, as well as Kingdom in the house to do a little bit of bouncing back and forth between these games that we have lined up. We will be casting one main match, and it will, I believe, be... Let me see.
I'm pretty sure it's DDoS Careless Pandas.
It will be, I believe it's Alt F4 and Prodigious actually.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Lined up. It was going to be them, but it got swapped at the last moment. So it will be Prodigious versus Alt F4. And so tomorrow we will be bouncing between them and a few other matches in between each of their maps, checking out all of those Wednesday games that you guys are used to playing in, but maybe we'll just be getting them on stream instead so we can get as many of these playoff matches out to you guys as we can. Of course, for the night, I have been Dor. This has been JStar. Thanks for watching.